I know sometimes it takes a moment.
It takes a hot minute.
I will also fix the webcam. Hello, it's me.
Yes.
Fuck you,
I
Cam.
see you.
Good. I'm glad you can see me.
Oh, well. Oh, I'm hitting 20k this week.
Oh-ho.
Oh,
Oh-ho.
wow.
20.
What?
Triumph.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Okay.
Obviously.
Oh,
I
the
won
old Nick
50
Cunnington
quid on the
miles.
premium bonds. I'm like, really happy.
Nice.
I'm in a good mood. There you go.
For a second I was like, do I have premium bonds? Is that something I'm giving to people that I don't know about?
You
Yeah.
too, like me, could win something if you join my pyramid scheme.
Right, so I assume we're all grand on the viewing front.
Oh, sure.
Yar.
Good. Good, good. Assume ed B. Assume ed B. Okay, so
I have image, I have site.
assume
I have
3
read.
starts. So
Hadoop.
woohoo! Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Bajor Plague. Although why can't I click on this? Okay, that's fine.
Oh, of course, because I cancelled my Prime. I don't have. Guess I'll have to subscribe with money.
If you even intend to do that, just PayPal it to me. Then I get the money. You know, it's better that way.
Yes.
But what I really meant was nothing that goes against Twitch.
Terms of service.
Thank you. I think if we just break up all the things that go against terms of service, it breaks up their voice recognition, and nobody's then technically breaking it. If we all take part, no, maybe not.
It's culpability. That's how the law works. If 30 people murder someone, they only serve 1 year each.
Yeah, like if you only murder somebody a bit, right?
It just popped up. Victor Triumph is live. We're not good, but we're good enough.
Yeah, that's.
Oh,
I think arguably, you should say
made me
we're
smile.
not just good. Is what it should say. Thank you very much. Woohoo!
God damn it! All these people subscribing, and I don't have.
Yeah, no, imagine that. Like, imagine people's generosity.
I have fallen from great heights.
And stopped subscribing.
I know.
Cause you're a pretty
Intruder.
excellent one. Yeah. What was that? Sorry.
I've got an intruder in the office.
Hello, Emmeline.
No one
Hello.
can see you, but they can hear you.
Hello.
They said hello. Okay, she's just sneaked out.
Okay.
She's
bye.
just creepy. She's being very sneaky and creepy. It's my life.
Which is something our characters should be able to do at some point.
Yes, in a future game maybe, or this game, or any game.
In game,
I'll have you
In-game.
know, Weird is famously stealthy.
maybe we want more to come in.
Like having no history is not the same as leaving no trace. Okay. Just that should be one of those
No.
Clone Wars quotes at the start of the episode. Just
No one will notice him.
yeah, for no one has noticed him, least of all history. But yeah, so anyway, Fragments of Eternity, Starfinder, Ryan GM, episode 83, 11 January 21. Players.
Hello. I'm first.
Hello first.
No,
As
no,
per the
no.
order.
The order of all things,
Yes.
and the voice
I
of
am the
feminism.
order.
More
Honourable
the whole
things.
time.
And I am playing. I'm Zora, actually. And I'm also Nico. Sorry, I'm Nico. I'm playing Zora, the best captain.
This is what people
There we
subscribe
go.
for. Flawless content.
Yes. Sorry, he's Nico. Hello, I am Colin, and I will be playing Michael Quinn. Is your resident guy.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You're welcome.
Hi,
Hi.
I'm Alex,
Well,
and I will be playing Weird, Android Mechanic / Sneaky Spy.
fair.
Yeah.
See, he was a spy the whole time, but he was so sneaky nobody knew that was his build. Least of all, him. Oh dear.
Callum is I.
Hmm.
Zig will be my game.
Potion seller.
I thought you were going to say.
Required.
I thought you were going to say like 1/4 potion.
So yes, hello everybody. I am Callum, and today I am Zig.
Hello, Zig.
I'm here for your finest assortment of potions.
One.
Hello, William.
I'll offer you 12 quarter potions. As to be fair, that is the character he wants to play, right? In a Star Wars game as a trader. So
It's true,
yeah. And as an Ithorian,
and he will be the bestest
it'll just be a bit more
trader in the party.
crackly. Yeah, that's probably true. To be fair, I think you can stand by that. So we've got the best trader in the party, the best captain Star Wars has ever seen, according to Alex. Which is
The luckiest man Star Wars has ever seen. I'll be.
But you're not a man.
Nah, mate, I've just got the luckiest Keldor.
Okay, the luckiest Keldor. Okay, and then
My favourite.
and then the lost little toaster. Or yeah.
Sad.
I will be
That is.
the luckiest. And it's mostly because I'm just taking sense to just like nope stuff. And I'm going to have like touch of fate and shit. I just got to be like lots of nope.
And we're gonna hope that Touch of Fate works this time round. Yeah.
It's got to work, mate. It's got to work.
Oh man, 25 sessions says otherwise.
And I say that actually, man. No fucking 20 hates me. Hates me with
Yeah.
a passion.
But maybe it'll like your Keldor because you're leaning into what you actually want. You know. Although brief chats with Stephen of all people revealed that he was happy you were a Zabrak and not a creepy Keldor.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I know. I was like, wow, poor Keldor. They are so cool.
Why?
But I didn't really go into
Why?
it. Mostly I think it was just because they thought they were creepy. And they'd say they do kind of have a bald predator kind of vibe to them. But
Do it? What?
I don't know.
Zerbrack aren't nearly as fucked up. What?
No, well, the Keldor look more like bald
Oh,
predators.
what's Keldor again? Remind me.
Plo Koon. There you go. Google that.
I don't know what you've just said. It sounded awful.
Remember when I shared that picture of the 4 people that you were playing? It was the one in the robes. The one that
The
isn't.
best Jedi.
The one without the book. With the breathing mask.
Okay, I guess there is some vaguely almost predatorish about them.
Yeah.
Honestly, they just look like tumor faces.
Fairly, to be fair.
Very.
But regardless of that,
How very the deal like they've had like a one of the crabs like attached to their face for Half-Life. Can't remember what names are.
what the head crabs? Like,
Yeah.
that's
head
just what
crabs.
they were called.
Cool.
What's the current accepted canon predators?
I guess we'll just draw a line now, shall we? Like, just there we go.
If
Or-
listen, chat, if you're listening, you know what the accepted for predators.
What isn't the race name?
Yeah.
What, like the Utah or whatever they're called, like the
Was
Uja?
Yaocha or something like
Yeah.
that. But there was also another Chinese sounding one. And I don't know like which is considered the more current.
I'm honestly not sure, actually. But anyway, what do you just remember from last session? Of Starfinder, the Fragments of
Remember,
Eternity.
I'm drunk.
Mm.
I
Time last session.
in real life.
What was that, Nico?
What did that say last session?
I mean, that's what I'm
I
asking.
thought you said we were calming last session.
Calming.
That wasn't true.
It's so rarely true.
Find some free parking in Hive Market.
Yeah.
Or the captain did.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Alice did.
A
But
successful rescue operation.
Yeah. It's a successful snatch and grab of the men. The men.
Yep.
What else? Some bad happened at the end, right? Am I just imagining that?
No, nothing bad happened at all. We're all
Nothing
safe.
bad ever
Everything is
happens
fine.
at the end of these sessions. They are never cliffhangers, right?
We turned, freeze framed, smiling at the camera while the credits rolled. It was great.
But in other actual news, Lyko left the briefing room early and then just went up to the bridge and just jumped the ship to Eox.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Kidnapped Finida. That's right. Kidnapped Finida. That was the bad thing. That was the bad thing. Right.
Are
And
we good to go? Let's go!
the last
Love it.
shot was CC being pulled away in his mech as soon as you just hit drift space.
Oh, that was the
Oh,
other bad.
yeah.
That's the awful thing. Actually, that was terrible.
That was the bad news.
That was the bad news.
Mhm.
I had to fight my
CC,
CC.
you will be missed
Mhm.
and not
Rip.
forgotten.
You just gotta get found. Can't have it.
Mm. So, anything else worth bringing up besides you're on your way to Eox and CC went away?
We've accidentally abducted.
Yep. Yep, we have an abducted
Yes.
former queen. Mhm.
In my
Pissed
defense,
off.
I was basically dead at that point. You should all have stopped. Didn't.
Sure.
Excuses are noted. That is all.
I don't think so, right? That's what happened, right? We rescued the stuff, the people
Mhm.
was, and then we went on the ship, done a wee bit of talking on the ship, and then thumped.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Finida doesn't have different memories, something like that.
That's right.
Yeah, weirdly, she seems to only have the one timeline in her head.
Mhm.
Which is
And not
interesting.
the one we're currently in.
Because she's a
So
ghost.
totally prod her
Because
on
she's a
that.
ghost, yeah.
I still
I mean,
like
she might be.
totally prod me her getting in that fucking vault. Get in that vault. Stab her if you have to.
I don't think she is a good ghost, to be
We're losing some of your words there, Colin. Don't you think she's got what?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to translate to you don't actually think she's a ghost.
Correct.
There we go. That's what I thought you'd say.
I just wanted to be clear in that because
Mhm.
sometimes I think that aren't necessarily entirely sensible. I wanted to be clear. That isn't something that I actually.
believe. Yeah.
I
Oh.
do think that gaming is a sport, which I know is a stupid thing. I'm just kidding. Gaming is a sport.
Anyway, charged commentary aside.
He's done.
Oh. Yep.
Amazing.
Yeah. I said this to my Friday group who are on session 75. Maybe I just stop when they hit 100. I think that's maybe a sanity threshold I shouldn't breach. And looking at 83 in this game, yeah, maybe that is a sanity threshold I shouldn't breach.
Surely it's in Twitch's terms of service somewhere. Health and safety.
Yeah. What, just streaming with Colin, or
Yes.
do you mean
You have to check all of Cthulhu rules.
yes, the Colin of Cthulhu rules? Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh dear. Anyway, so meanwhile, and other such things that I often say that doesn't get us any further in the game. So, you've been in drift for a day. You fall out of drift, and you're in orbit above Eox. We're bam.
Bam.
There you go. Look at that. And then we
Wow,
pause,
okay, that-
and we step all the way back, and we quickly review the goals that are in place.
It's got a bit of ghost.
No, it's a new year. I'm trying new things, like getting things wrong and covering it up really well.
Me.
So we've got meet with Demogash in order to gain leverage on the cretin.
Yes,
Who
No.
is the cretin?
he is the cretin.
Him? Okay.
Demogash, yes.
Just in
Um,
case there's someone else.
Demogash with the most S. We have Lycos, which is retrieve Syndial's electroencephalon.
That's
We've got establish cybernetics business limbs are as the body whole, bone, brain and beyond, or limbo. And then we've got speak to Thnaida about the vault and gain access. Those are the personnel goals. We also have some general goals of speak with the Kivalari crew on verses, prepare and embark for Eox,
Well, we've
and
done that.
I feel
More or
like that's wasn't that, like, I mean, yeah, I suppose the prepare part was the part you skipped, I think.
Yeah, we've done we've
It's just,
embarked.
yep,
now
and
we
now
need
it's to
get
prepare.
ready for
Yes, yes. And then deliver electroencephalon to Ramasethu, and then gain useful MO info, and then retrieve valuable objects from Eox to trade with perhaps Qpop. So, those are our goals. That's what they are. And then we're back in the ship, doing that thing we do.
Okay. What's a ship?
What is this shit?
That's a good.
What is sport?
What is love?
Art.
What was that, Alex? Was it
It's all
anything?
video games art.
Okay, so it wasn't.
Yes.
It wasn't. It wasn't
Not-
useful.
not-
Okay.
Not gacha games.
Okay. So,
The singing was totally useless.
what's the plan?
FIFA is art.
What's the plan, guys? The plan of this game that we
Right,
play.
So,
Like wrangling cats.
Get to even just meet up in the mess hall and find out what we're doing.
Yep.
The plan of attack.
I do-
You're the captain.
I also feel like you
mean-
had a day to discuss that when you realised you get dropped into drift. So, what's the plan of attack?
The plan of attack was, well, I told the peoples to put a message on CC's message board, because that's probably the easiest way to get in touch with him, because he's on
Had we
skis,
discovered
right?
that he wasn't present anymore yet? Did we actually know that, or was that just the players knew that?
That's a cutscene, but you've had a day in drift, remember?
Yeah, we'll have figured it out by now.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, well, Lyco in that case would have posted some cryptic stuff on Conspiracy Craig for him to find.
Yeah, so that can also be pending to send as soon as you come out of drift. Yep, that can happen. What do you want to send?
I don't know exactly, just like various messages that he would recognise as being composed by Lyco,
Sure.
because he's seen plenty of my information before. He knows
Mhm.
he knows me, so I would just sort of do typical Lyco trolling.
Yeah, sure. That's fine. That can happen. Yeah. I guess I'll write that down. That sounds like something I should probably do.
Dragons planning sun question mark. New thread every 5 minutes.
What else?
I guess I'll just like, so do we just go straight in? Or do we...
Well, I'm assuming the night is probably.
I think we can just skip by the scene that was muted with some nice classical music played over her screaming at you for about 3 hours. Which is the montage we have. Lyco's hair flowing backwards like Manny in Black Books.
I like to think if anything I'm the
I know you do. So,
So yeah, we just gonna go in gung ho, or are we gonna try and find an easy way in?
we have contact.
yeah, I mean,
And I will message one of my contacts.
okay, yep. So the one that obviously you added
Yeah.
dealings with in the past.
Say, you know, in orbit of Eox, seeking. What should I say? Like something like seeking advice on approach of archive, something like that. You know, entry archive.
Or something cryptic like, dead drop required. Something
Yes,
that, smuggling
in
into.
a pre-discussed and understood sort of.
Yeah, you're
language.
using the language that you know from having died to this before, in some after a fashion way. But yeah, you'll make contact with one of your former smuggling, informants, I guess, or contacts, I guess is the best word to overuse here. And you can roll a d6 for me, and we'll work out how long it takes them to get to you.
I have rolled a 6.
Okay, so based on their drive tech, it'll be 3 days for them to get to you. So you have 3 days to kill, in addition to that day in drift. Okay, for them to meet up in system. What do you do for 3 days on board? What's the
Day
plan?
1, rest.
Day one, rest.
If you need to, right? Feel free
I
to.
am definitely doing that. I'm gonna
As well.
regain my fall damage.
Yeah, I think I just need to regain some resolve points, and other than that, that's me.
Okay, yep, boys can all rest. Day 1 was done. It was super easy. Yep.
So we all have our equipment back. Yeah, that's with the cat.
Yeah, that was all on board. Yep.
Here
Yep, these are all sorted that way.
to prepare all of that.
Thanida has made contact with somebody who seems to be bringing the Azure Flare to her as well.
Well, that's good. We'll have enough time for
That's handy.
to get left off again.
Mhm.
I will spend some time trying to negotiate peace with Thanida.
Let's see how that goes then. Want to give me day 1's roll?
What are we rolling? Culture?
No, I feel like there's a diplomacy skill, right?
Man, I'm live. That's a
You know what? I've got
skill,
okay.
guys.
I've got okay.
There is.
Who is that skill?
Yeah.
See, I've got okay.
Yeah, I think the day she took to scream at you has worn her out, so she also decided to rest on day 1, which meant she was a lot more approachable, I think. So yeah, it's go a long way in smoothing things over. I think you definitely aren't going to sit and have coffee for it, like, you know, as chums anytime soon. But it's not exactly going to like tear your throat out. So that's good as a standing. She possibly mentions the fact that she outranks you now several times during that first day, and that she would at least appreciate some notice when you intend to do some, you know, life-risking maneuvers.
I think something else that I would want to do probably discuss with the cat. The potential for, you know, complications, given he is an undead going to a world run by necromancers. You know, Lyko would probably be concerned about the potential. You know, I don't know exactly rules-wise how this would work, but would necromancy be able to influence that Lyko's behaviour? Would like another undead entity would be?
Legitimately, you suffer all the downsides of undead, which would be any spell that
Yeah.
does affect undead, I would assume,
Yeah,
unless there's
basically,
anything
if
in the
it's
spell
undead,
text.
Yeah.
And if the spell text has anything that seems like it wouldn't affect you, then we'll go with that as well, right? Like, we'll make sure we read it thoroughly.
So I'll make a point to approach the cat, and you know what? I'll even do it in character, like some sort of crazy role-playing rogue. Imagine the idea. Captain Admiral,
Captain's fine.
may I have a moment of your time?
Nod. Welcome him into my abode.
I will enter, and I don't know if there's any space to sit.
There probably is, right? I'm a fucking civilized Vesk. Like, don't know how I go with these chairs. I've probably bent some bars or something.
The chairs are made by CC from bits of shit. Yeah, I'll sit down and Captain, I wanted to address this before we land. Planet side, I haven't been to EOX since and he's probably a little uncomfortable discussing it in these terms, but since since I undergone certain changes that might have some ups and downs in terms of how I'm able to navigate that world. obviously there's a potential benefit in having someone who is undead, because certain energies may not affect me truly alive, so that's great. Possibly I can energy entirely otherwise, but we've all we all remember the creatures we encountered with Larry, and Zig was able to influence one of them because, I assume, it's undead nature. And well, Zig is powerful, but he's a kid from a wacky solar cult. He's not a necromancer, ruler of Legion of the Undead. If he can do that to one of them, I don't know what one of the Bone Sages actually.
So, well, I guess there's no way you know how to stop them if you're coming to me saying this.
Yeah, I'm afraid. I guess I just wanted to make aware that I need to pay close attention to my behavior in case anything doesn't add up.
I would nod.
Hopefully. Little risk of actually encountering.
Perhaps have some warning. If that starts happening to you, be good. Thumbs up.
If I begin to feel not myself, I will make every effort to alert the crew.
Other than that, don't worry about it. We'll got your back. I'm sure.
Okay.
I've got your back at least.
Oh, thank you, Captain. Appreciate it. I just yeah, I thought I should make that clear.
It's good. It's good to know. I didn't really think about it that way. Jenny, I didn't actually think about it that way. Is that a really good point?
Well, he was probably. I think it maybe only latterly occurred to him, and it probably occurred to him like, well, if I've only just thought about this, has anyone else? And I don't know if other characters maybe want to. Like, I could see Zig having had reason to think about it, but then maybe Zig thinks, oh well, that was a zombie and like was a person. So of course it's different, right?
Yeah, Zig definitely falls in the. Lyco's not a zombie.
There we go. I've been accepted.
He's a skeleton, and sorry.
And in a way, aren't we all? Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Mhm,
Cool. Well, yeah, having made Captain aware of that, Captain Admiral, Captain Zora.
Captain's fine.
Captain.
Okay, that's just like the news. This is the catchphrase. Captain's fine.
I like it. I like it because I just enjoy the fact that he clearly regrets having given himself a different title. Captain's better.
I mean,
but yeah,
admirals do also
I'd sort of,
captain ships, which is handy. So, you know.
I'd, like nod and make my way back to mess hall or something.
Yeah. Anybody else doing anything else for the rest of day 2?
Probably not anything specific. Probably
Nothing back on the
check
forums or anything like that. Nothing at all. I'm from CC.
I'll keep an eye on them. But,
yeah. I was about to say he's probably like keeping his eye on like his phone every 2 seconds because it's a message. He's worried. Big Zora's worried.
Sweet.
I think as well. Near the end of day 2, Snyder, comes and finds you. Where does Snyder find you, Zora? Near the end of day 2.
Mess hall. Why not?
Sure. So yeah, she kind of like walks in, stands at the frame of the mess hall, waits for like you to like notice that she's there.
Fine. Ryder.
Admiral. And she just kind of like gives a polite, professional smile. As she stands there in a cocktail dress, a black cocktail dress, that she's been wearing since she's been on board. And she says, my ship will be here in a few hours. I will be departing then.
Good. I mean, hasn't the ship not departing? You know what I mean. Carry on.
And she just looks at you, and then after like a 10-second stare says, it is unfortunate that our ships are now quantified together, this close to our enemies.
Yeah, that's. But I mean, hopefully we can mitigate the damage somewhat.
Or avoid it entirely.
That'd be handy. What you suggest?
Better safeguards and perhaps some training in the chain of command is what I would suggest. Merely as a recommendation. I know you are fond of and she says the drow equivalent of a laissez-faire system, whatever that is.
Surely it is just laissez-faire because it's a drow. If anyone would speak French, it's going to be.
Sure, yeah.
Forgive Lyko, he was just anxious to get.
She waves that off and she goes, I'm not one to hold grudges. The officer did what he thought he should do, and I would say the blame of that lies with you, not him.
Well, forgive me and my tardiness.
She looks at you and she goes, I'll be gathering my things. And she kind of turns to leave and then stops and half turns back and says, if you want forgiveness, you'll make it worth my while. And she walks away. There was definitely a bit of tongue-in-cheekness to that last part, right? Back when, if you flash back to way back when you were on, in her decaying palace bedroom and she was clearly toying with you flirtily, yeah, there's definitely elements of that haven't vanished from Thanaida. Even if your memories of that are confusing now. Because it both did and didn't happen. And then she leaves.
That's me.
Yeah. If there's no other business then for day 2, yep, she gets on her ship and leaves.
I
No.
would make a point to acknowledge again the fault and just apologising.
Maybe you're waiting at the airlock or something. When the ship's docked. I think as you start to explain, she just kind of puts a hand on the side of your face and smiles at you, and then just walks past you.
Take care of your
Sick.
I was muted. Oh,
Yep.
I thought that was really mean.
No, we just didn't hear you, buddy, because you were muted.
No, I was just gonna say, I think we try and get a chance to speak to Thanaida at some point.
When? So you've got all of...
Preferably before she leaves.
Okay, so you've got all of the day in drift, where she was angry at Lyko. You've got all of the
Not
first
then,
day where
because
everybody
she
wanted to
was in
sleep.
a bad mood.
And then you've got all of day 2 where at the end of it she leaves. So...
Yeah, so at some point before she leaves on day 2.
Okay, yeah. So let's just say it's before she talks to the captain in the mess hall then.
Okie dokie.
Mm-hmm. So where do you go looking for her?
That's a good question. I think he could probably be spending most of his time just kind of chilling where the food is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The
one set that we own, which is the mess hall of the ship.
Yes.
Yeah.
And if he didn't see her for a while, he'd just kind of go looking for her.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I don't know, maybe you find her in the armory stripping down a rifle and putting it back together.
Majesty.
She looks up and she says, I think it's Captain now.
Captain.
Thanida's
Might be-
fine.
Thanida.
She just smiles at you and then goes back to like picking up parts of the gun to construct it.
So here's where I'm at. I think you'd like go over to like some form of
There's benches,
thing to
yeah. There's like a bench in the
just
middle.
kind of sit
Imagine it
on.
like a locker room. It's a very
Yeah,
small
yeah.
locker room, the armory. She also, when you say here's where I'm at, and she looks around as if stating the armory without saying it, you know?
I say that every time I walk into a room. Here's where I'm at.
Declaration!
You know, kind of like puts his elbows on his knees and like puts his hand in his face in his hand and just like, so you only have the memories from the original timeline.
She laughs. As she's like, you know, putting the barrel into the gun and stuff and adjusting some of the sights on the top of it. And she just she sets the gun down and just looks at you. And then she says, you're really hung up on this, aren't you?
It bothers me a bit. So you weren't affected by my going back in time and changing things.
Arguably, by my perspective, nothing of what you say transpired.
Yeah. So my concern is, obviously, as I said before, I'd said the void egg would have been in your vault because we hadn't gone there previously to take it out. But I'm starting to wonder if your vault is also unaffected by the changes, and we have to somehow gain access to Lantaral's vault in this timeline.
She cocks her head and she goes, you mean my vault? Yes?
Yes. Yes.
You just
But the one
called
that
it
your sister
Lantaral's
has
vault.
access to. It's just easier to distinguish that there might be two of the same vault coexisting in the same timeline.
and narrows her eyes at you, and then looks back down at the gun. And then she looks up at you and she goes, do you know why I do this? And she like just rests a hand on like the middle of the rifle.
You want to be good at stripping and putting back together guns?
She just kind of smiles and says, sure. But to what end?
To be able to quickly assemble the weapon in a short, quick, stressful time. Scratches the back of his head. Kind of squints his eye a little bit.
She smiles and says, this rifle is constructed by Vesk designers and engineers and weapons manufacturers and is designed to suit their style of combat. And we seem interestingly positioned in the allegiance to the Vesk. She kind of stresses the word allegiance. And she says, so the idea of being able to disarm a Vesk rifle means I may live to see one extra day than I would have otherwise.
That's a good point.
And she kind of picks the rifle up and then puts it like onto the rack, and then turns back and says, "Was there anything else you wanted to discuss?"
I'm just wondering if you would at least check, or let me check, if there is a void egg in your vault.
She just laughs again. She goes, "How forward of you. Do you feel better with that off your chest?" She's mostly just
little bit.
laughing while saying this, because it's a ridiculous statement to hear. And she says, "Perhaps when this Eoxian issue is resolved, we can both take a stroll."
I think Zig stands up on the bench
Mhm.
and just kind of nods at her and puts his hand out as in to like shake on it, because he's like adamant.
Mhm. And she steps forward and she shakes your hand.
Might no.
Yep. Oh, she was waiting for it.
It's not happening.
Mhm. She dismounts you like a
No.
rifle. But yes, and then like she kind of does that thing where like, you know, she shakes your hand and she like puts her hand over the back of yours, kind of gently, and then she says, "This does mean you'll have to return though. It's now a promise."
I promise.
And she smiles. She kisses the back of your hand, and she leaves the armory.
I think Zig just stands on the bench with his hand kind of extended,
Mm-hmm.
like long after she's left, just kind of standing there.
Mm-hmm.
I think his mind is still kind of going in this weird, horrible cycle of, if the memories are this, then maybe it's the vault, and then maybe it's not in the vault, and maybe there's two vaults, and then wait, no, this is confusing. Oh,
So
I
when you
have
get
a
in the
headache.
vault and there's a thing going, "Don't trust her. That's not the night."
Yeah. And then he's
Uh,
like, what? There's just an infinite number of vaults with an infinite number of void eggs. And only one is the real void egg.
It's actually a bug that's now became so ingrained in the system. It's a feature. So it's an egg dispenser now. But anyway, anything else to
And you
happen
get a void egg.
on
And you get a void egg.
day 2? Then I think day 2 concludes with her leaving the ship and basically just ignoring Lyco's attempt at talking to her by just basically caressing the side of his face in a kind of fond way, basically saying, "It doesn't matter." You know?
Do that to me all the time.
I'd have a non-Gonida action,
Yeah.
which is work on the armor so that it is functional.
Cool.
The
Do you
legs.
want to give me some engineering?
Something to try.
Yeah.
Can't help with that engineering, man. I'm a great engineer.
You give me some help.
I'm
Let's see how well your help goes. You've said it now.
Oh my god, what's happening here? Engineering, where is it? It's
Under E.
there we go.
Under S for shade. As you
Best help, man.
Okay, so I guess at least a -2 to the roll, but yeah, okay. So let's do day 2, or guess, on engineering then. Let's see how well you did day 2. Do you ask Zora to help on day 2, or do you just go at it alone on day 2?
I'll go at it myself. Not that it's much good.
Wow,
And then I assume you'll do this in day 3 as well. So
Yes.
yeah, hit me up with the day
man.
3.
You're obviously no dead as well in day 2, so you need my help. Right.
Poor
Yeah.
Don't you have something you should be captaining?
I'm just watching, man. I'm fascinated. He's got full legs now, and it's like
It's twice as many as you had before. Yep.
like,
Is this just your your replacement for your CC? I mean, you know, CC had 8 limbs. He's now got 8 limbs.
I'm contemplating like fucking like, yeah, I want this. Is this something I want in my life?
But yes, so
All the best.
end to get anything in day
What
3?
if you replace your arms with a set of those legs, and then you could have
No.
four dosh?
No. So day 3. Anything to cover in day 3?
Chris.
Let me think.
Remember the part where you are needing to go to the death planet of death.
Yes.
You said that like we should be concerned.
I don't know if I did. I feel like
I would say that perhaps suggesting that we should make sure we have our supplies in order and our suits well sealed.
Oh
Yes.
yeah, somebody here is already doing that.
mhm.
You are.
Exactly.
He's the
And
somebody.
I'm
Yeah.
somewhat exempt because negative energy is gonna fuck with me, but I'll pack some chocolate bars.
You also know though
few-
that like the surface of Yox is deadly to most things, including yourself. Like it's not just negative energy; it's down there. There's all kinds of radiation that we're not going to look up. Like your actual suits will not protect you for as long as they are officially listed as, because they were not rated for Eoxian atmosphere.
It's fucked.
That's on the little like asterisks at the
Yeah.
end of the.
Mhm.
Will protect you from radiation.
Yeah. You will survive like, somewhere between like a quarter and a third of the time, depending on where you are on the planet. However, yeah, like your suits will be greatly diminished in terms of survivability. You will still have time on it though. Same as like shuttles and stuff.
As quickly as possible.
Yeah, basically no dilly dally. Excuse me, a bit gassy.
Billy shall not be damned.
Correct.
Is there any way for us to find out anything about that archivist?
How would you go about that?
I don't know.
Moment,
Books.
I just have this image of you staring at the computer screen and typing in the archivist, one claw at a time, and then hitting enter, and it just being various results that probably won't help because, yeah.
Probably
Good
quite a
habit.
few archivists out there.
Like billions, arguably.
It's actually the most common profession.
Yeah.
The problem is, the further into the future you go, the more information accumulates. Therefore, the more archivists you need.
That's
At
true.
some point, we're going to reach just critical mass of archivists in a museum.
That's why the gaps happen, though. Every so often, you reach critical mass of archivists, and knowledge takes a couple of, so many,
That makes sense.
yeah, so many moments off.
Archive singularity.
Uh-huh.
Sure, like-
Have we solved the gap? Is that what just happened?
If we've assigned everyone to archiving and nobody's farming food,
Yeah.
you've just got a bunch of people wandering around going, but there are stories about how food used to be.
Okay, so nobody's doing anything in day 3 except answering the hail that comes in from Lyco's contact then, right? It appears on day 3. Dear God.
I feel like we should be doing something useful.
I mean, no. I would never imply that yous would be useful. I think yous know that.
Wow.
You're welcome.
Realism is always appreciated.
Wow.
I know.
I mean, I get flung at stuff, right, and I get told to shoot it. That's what I got told today, right? Like, this is somebody else's job.
Right, Lyco, obviously, I guess you answer the comm.
Cool.
And then you make the agreements to dock. So, I don't know, does anybody else go to greet the contact, or is it just Lyco that heads down to the airlock?
I'll go, because
You're the
I'm
captain.
interested.
Yeah. Oh, so you're the captain and
Mate,
captain.
I'm
and
interested.
a business.
Well, here we go. This will be interesting.
Edgelord.
Yup. So the doors open. You
Ooh,
greet
hello.
your fellow person, and I'd like to say that we are guest starring a player.
Oh, for
Oh,
no. Oh, you rat galley, you.
I know that.
So do you want to describe who they see when the airlock opens?
just as I hit 20k on Triumphs. Just saying.
I need to do some what do you call it?
It's
me
an admin.
hiding up because I had to pretend I was other people. To hide my involvement. Okay, how do I make sure I get rid of that? So, as I step through the door, look exactly as everyone would expect anyone who knows me. I am a male human
Wow.
Same.
in his
IRL.
early 30s with combat boots, combat trousers, 2 holsters on either side, both adequately equipped. A rough jacket, a 3/4 length jacket to keep me safe in the cold space, and I have a pair of goggles on
Wow.
my forehead. And
Really?
I have a goatee and medium length brown hair.
Okay.
Is MD shocked by any of this? Because I'm not.
No. Completely shocked, man.
Yeah, none of
Baffled,
this
man.
all anticipated.
No.
This is why there's 2 of you. I see.
Mhm.
That sinister plot
Yes,
against.
hold on, while I need to correct my not Lohengrin.
Yes.
Because Roll20 does not pretend hiding.
Mhm.
It's not built into Roll20 that I had to create my character sheet on the down low.
Mhm. It doesn't like secret sneaky things at all.
While we're on fuckery of that sort, can I update my token logo for Lyco?
You can just send me the art.
Yeah, it's I don't even know if I still have it, but it's the one that I'm using for thingy.
Honestly,
Bio.
just
There you go.
just
It's
send. And I'll update it.
It's Neymar.
Okay,
Fuckboy
good.
Neymar is
Good.
the best thing.
It is the best thing. You're correct. I will share the art Steven sent me for his as well.
Yes, well, welcome, Stephen. I was entirely, genuinely, not remotely expecting that.
Me neither. That was that was
Yeah.
nice. Well done.
Congratulations.
Let me just throw up some.
Also, hello, Alex.
Yes, yes.
I know I've not met you, but as you can probably guess, the rest have. They're well versed.
Hmm.
They are prepared.
No, I'm prepared for your character for sure.
Yeah,
There he is.
but he's got a
Honestly.
different name.
You know what? He does.
There we
It's
go.
not the
It's true, actually.
No, it's Ray's Kishi because we're guest starring. Steven is Ray's Kishi, the human.
Ray's Kishi.
Raise Kishi.
not Rikishi.
No.
Kishi.
Ray's Kishi.
Banana. Squashed banana. But yeah. Oh dear. So yeah, that was nice to do that. So yeah, this person's in your airlock now. You are greeted with. Do you want to describe your characters for Rays?
Big blue, white lizard man. Done.
Yep.
Done.
Wow,
got a wee
that's a
floaty
big blue
thing.
lizard man right there.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little floaty thing next to him.
Looks like
Like
a tiny
a
black
Pay
blue-
attention
hole.
to that.
Mm-hmm.
Lyco looks like fuckboy Namor, right?
Or baby and with redder eyes.
Mm-hmm.
If you Google Borai, the Borai tend to look a bit fucked up. He is, as might be expected of a Colin character, undead after a fashion.
I am somewhat versed in your characters because I have been waiting in the wings for a while. Obviously, the plan of we shall have a guest star, it shall be you, just depends on when they reach this point of the story. So, you can probably guess how long I've been waiting.
Yeah.
So like half a year maybe.
Waiting 69 sessions.
That's probably not a million miles from what Lyco looks like, except that Lyco was a human in life, so he's
Yeah.
no antenna.
Yeah, it was
He's
all
got a
Lashunta.
lot of trouble. He doesn't have quite that fabulous a jawline, and he's got a long coat as part of his because basically his gear is from.
Well, you're a human, so all humans have long coats. That just seems to be a
Yes,
trait
yeah,
in
That's how they
space.
work. You know,
That's how they
I
can
have to agree.
spot each other in a crowd. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Fellow human. So how well do I know Ray's Kishi then?
Yeah, enough to know that's Ray's Kishi. And whatever else
mean-
you wish.
Yeah, I don't know how much we knew. Like, I know you used to be in enforcement of the law.
Yep, Space Cop. Yep.
And I know you passed
Mhm.
from one form of existence to another.
Mhm.
But in terms of over and above that, we've kind of decide amongst ourselves.
Cool. Well, since you're a contact from specifically relating to that smuggling aspect of the job, which was the aspect of the job that monitored the smuggling of Eoxy and relics was specifically what got Lyko killed. Lyko hasn't necessarily chased up on that stuff much since. I love Dig's illustration.
Yeah, it was very much like you know him because of him dying, because of things. I was like, I didn't get him killed, did I? Is
I mean,
that a thing?
not directly, certainly.
Did I kill him?
You would probably right. Last time you saw him, he was probably wearing a uniform and probably had a lot less black veins and red eyes.
Accurate.
I know of Ivan.
Yes, King of the Oozes.
Is that Lyko?
Oh,
no.
Jesus.
CC. I thought it was an LC.
Yeah, CC's narratively excused.
You've obviously seen him.
And so we have Captain Admiral, the Big Blue Lizard. We
Blue
have
Lizard.
Fuckboy Namor,
Mhm.
with red eyes, and what else we got?
Probably easier to explain Zig first, visually, as I tried to figure out if there's any artwork ever.
I like that you qualified it with visually. Thank you.
Yeah, explaining anything else about Zig is a fucking nightmare. Hence my post up thread.
I'm loving these, by the way. This collection, this wonderful gallery that we're getting. Thank you, Zig. Yes. Anyway, so Zig, please.
Spider in
describe.
trousers.
Imagine, if you will,
Sort of.
a rat, but not just a rat that would be considered quite large on our world, in real life. But yeah, so he's a 3-foot rat, but he looks more mousy than rat because he's a nice guy.
This is
Okay.
CC.
I didn't know Lilo was in this.
Yeah.
Stitch.
Stitch,
the other
yeah,
one.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Space Koala. Is that it?
I didn't know Dan Aykroyd was in this picture.
It's kind of bat-like, actually, when I look at it like that. It's kind of like a furry bat.
It's literally Stitch. It's literally.
Oh yeah.
Adorable.
Yeah. CC is adorable. These are all correct.
Okay,
Good guy.
so there's Weird, who is an android.
Is he though?
He is based on the Casathans. I'm posting a picture of the Casathans. So he's got the elongated head and the forearms, but he is about 8 foot tall, and he has recently replaced his original legs. I was going to say natural legs, but original leg is with X legs.
I feel like Raise's faith to Weird the whole time is just going to be Thor's. Really though? Faith.
Yeah. So he has replaced his legs with a set of 4 legs. So he now has 8 limbs. There's the X legs for comparison.
Aren't they your new legs? The other ones are your X legs.
That's true. Yeah. Once I replace these, they'll be my XX legs. And he is also wearing a heavy suit of powered armor with deer horns on it, because that's the armor that I chose, apparently. So he's wearing this style of armor, but significantly customized.
So your Christmas destiny with 4 mechanical legs.
Yes. So
On sort of mechanical arms.
Four-
Organo-mechanical.
yes, 4 arms,
Organomechanical.
Or
4
organical.
legs, and I've customized the suit of armor so that it also has at least 2 inbuilt plasma cannon type items. No, 1 plasma cannon, 1 railgun.
You're also
And then
forgetting
there's-
the most
He looks
important
like a
part.
complete nightmare.
And then there's another cannon on a like a fold out scaffold on the side that I can swing around. So yeah.
Still,
We have
still
a
missing
giant
the most
lizard.
important part.
A small rat,
What's the most important part?
The cape.
a zombie,
I'm wearing a cape as well.
and a walking reindeer tank with a cape.
Yep.
I have kind of gone full biomechanical horror, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really love that the party has just completely taken it in stride.
And I'm like, I don't know if my ship is equipped for these types of
When
Things.
in Rome,
diversities.
I'm also Godzilla, by the way, and I'm prone to exploding. Hello.
Walk back and close the door.
Nice seeing you again, Lyko. Slowly backs away, hits button.
Briefly guest starring.
This picture is the short character that I started the campaign as.
It's
And,
it's at that moment he realized he fucked up.
Yep, there's my job as a GM. Yep.
Okay. Let's be in the scene then. That was actually clearing my throat. That wasn't me doing it for dramatic effect. And yeah. If it's just me and the cap approaching or waiting.
Yep. You have the. As I said, the doors kawoosh open. Raise Kishi's at the other side of it. Stairs, obviously. You've got, slightly more necrotic looking Lyko. A lot less formal looking than maybe you have last seen him.
You look like shit, Quinn.
Yeah, well.
So better than the last time I saw you.
Yeah, so, Ray, this is Admiral... Admiral... or Captain.
Fine.
Captain,
Admiral
Zora
Captain's
the
fine?
Abyss.
Nice to meet you, Admiral Captain's fine.
Also, Stephen, roll culture for me.
Okay. Let's see how
Because
I
let's
know how to
just
do
break him in the proper way to the game, right? Start by rolling culture.
Oh, yeah.
That's
Roll,
it.
roll.
What to do for me as well is click on the cog at the top of your character sheet,
Yeah.
see the little kind of thing, and change it to public now.
Oh, okay.
You don't need to reroll it, it's fine. We'll take the 33 that you got in culture. Yeah, you recognise the Admiral Captain's fine as the Vesk war hero Zora Daora the Abyss, which is basically like the most famous Vesk in the Pact Worlds. It's almost that scene in The Expanse where that random Martian goes back to his commander and says, "Oh yeah, so I was on a ship with James Holden and the the Undersecretary of Asarala," and he goes, "Okay, yeah, and who else was there? The Easter Bunny." So it's you're greeted with the space celebrity that is Zora.
So I feel like suddenly this may be worth the visit.
To be clear, this isn't Vesk business.
But a Vesk of your stature knows business.
Looks at his wallet. Yeah,
Nico never changes.
absolutely. I had money, okay.
How are your gym shots? Because it's Nico. I had money, okay.
But then my crew sponged it all off me. It's fine.
Listen, I require a fucking salary.
Pretty sure I bought like weird
I
extra armor.
definitely require a salary.
I
Oh.
get paid in sniper rifles occasionally.
Oh crap! It's fine. It's fine here.
Okay, good. I'm glad everything's fine.
So, famous Captain Admiral is fine.
Admiral's fine. Yes, he would nod.
Why am I here, and how much?
So why is he a Lego?
uh,
I literally just look so confused.
Raze, I have. We have a bit of a difficult.
You know what I do?
Yeah, of course I know what you do. That's exactly why I have you here. We need into the archives.
That's of
Face
Yoks.
drops. It just literally. There's no good reason to go to there.
It's a long story.
Yeah. We may or may not want probably one of the most precious things in that. No big deal.
There's a lot of precious things in there.
Well, if you're gonna come on board, I probably should be forthright about the nature of the specific item. It's one of the electroencephalons, specifically of probably the most prominent bone sages.
Dying once wasn't good enough for you. Is that what I'm hearing?
So it's probably nothing. Just rolling
If
sagely.
I told you it was important, would that help?
You do realize what you're asking of me, right?
Yeah.
I can get you onto Eox. That's doable. It's literally the one thing I do. But getting you in there is a completely different story. Like, I've never been there before. So you're going to have to cough up to make it worth my time.
Yeah, it's the equivalent of like the El Dorado vibes for most smugglers out there, right? It's definitely one of those, if we got there, we'd be rich. Why? Because nobody knows where it is or how to get in. That's why we'd be rich.
Right. Would you recognize, in fact, this is probably more of a question for Ryan, would he
ask the group.
recognize my armor as Bone Sage?
I don't know. Do you
Mine's
wanna
kind of new.
roll
Want me to
culture
roll
again?
culture
Yeah, why
again?
Roll
not?
culture!
It's the Starfinder skill.
Where did I put my skills?
It's under C
Is
for
it this
culture.
button? It's that button. There we go.
There we go. I think you could tell it's a bit not standard issue and very much not stewards, but I think actually pinning it down as Eoxian and not necessarily a. I mean, creepy undead, sure. I think it definitely looks like it has that vibe to it.
Cool. I just wanted to know if you would sort of look at him and go, "Ah, you're working for them." But no, if it's not that obvious.
No, it wouldn't be super obvious. It would look like you were what's the word I'm looking for? A groupie, maybe? But not necessarily that this is officially.
Big fan.
Yeah, but not necessarily that this is officially a actual like house sigil, etc. Blah blah blah.
I think if I'm honest at this point, with you having some sort of a somewhat past with Lyko, I would assume it's part of his disguise.
Okay.
Yeah.
To be
So
honest,
you want us
Sorry.
to get past the defense screen of
Eox.
Eox. I always know its name, no matter how often
Yep.
I may say it wrong. Okay, the character always knows. Eox. 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 Ambulance. And break into one of the most mythical areas on the planet. Steal one of the most guarded type of belongings that the planet probably has, and then I assume, leave
Zora's been nodding the whole time you've been saying that. Like,
Yeah, that's pretty much the plan.
Have you told anyone else this plan?
There are others who are aware of it.
That's a bad start. How many of these people have told you to not do this plan?
most of them are telling us to do it.
Yeah.
Mostly.
Yeah.
That's an even worse start.
If
You need new friends.
it helps, the original, we were enlisted to do this by one of the main phone seats.
This literally now became the worst way to start.
She was able to confirm that accessing is possible, so it's not just, I know that it's shrouded in myth, but it's doable. We know that the electroencephalon we want is there. We are aware that the archivist will be a problem. We're going on in with more information than pretty much anyone else has ever looked for it is.
Can I roll something to know what I know about the archivist?
Yeah, you can definitely try. Probably your profession, smuggler.
Okay, that's what I was
Yeah.
thinking might be the best thing to roll with.
Only that people talk about the archivist like some mysterious being, and then they wave their hands mystically. It's very much the boogeyman, is what the stories are, because nobody has a fucking clue what it is. It could literally just be a sign that says "Do not enter." That's called the archivist sign. Like nobody knows.
I've been to one side of this galaxy to the other, and I've seen a lot of things, and most of it makes me believe in the boogeyman. So, being careful is rule number 1. Being more careful is rule number 2. Rule number 3 is get paid. Well, technically it should be rule number 1, but if you're careful, you get paid. The rules are free form. Guidelines. They're guidelines. I'm willing to help because I need money. But the money needs to be good enough. You still aren't telling me how much I will get paid or what I will get for helping. Help me to help you. Help me to help you.
I can tell you.
I'll like message Zig, how much have you got?
Less than
So
Michael.
it's like the ship has just docked with another ship, right? And now the captain's going, "Oh my god, how much money have you got?" Like, is he being stuck up? Is that what's happening? Is it like, a carjacking? Like,
oh man, I don't know how much. I think Zig will just, if he's just sending it as like a wee message, Zig's gonna message why.
yeah.
Just the singular letter why.
Sugar daddy.
just why fam? Excellent.
How about I have 100,000 up front.
And
Well, for one thing, we have been negotiating with a trader on Akaton who is extremely eager for any Eoxian technology he's hands on. Can put you in touch with him with any spoils you might gather, and I'm sure we can arrange another side game after.
Can you roll sense motive, Stephen? And culture.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Oh shit.
Okay. You can definitely guess it's maybe a handful of people he's likely to talk about on Akaton. You being a smuggler by trade, you've probably dealt with a lot of these people. Narrowing it down specifically, unless he says the name, we'll need to wait and see. But you can definitely imagine there's at least 5 people in your head that you're thinking, maybe he's talking about these people, as like people that would trade in dodgy enough stuff like this. Did you reply to Zig? out of interest, Zora?
Stand by.
Also, it's like you can just go looking for the captain if you want. Like you don't need to like stand
I
by.
think you will. Like after standby, I can't tell if that's like help me code. Or...
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Goblins is usually the mad like
Mhm.
emergency word.
Goblins
Yeah,
is safe
fake
word.
ordering
Yeah.
pizza or something.
Hello.
Yeah.
Oh, I've
Hello,
been muted.
welcome back.
That's been the problem.
Yay.
I've been replying to everything. I was calming.
Okay.
Um,
We actually call it calming Nicoing.
Yeah.
But yes.
So yeah, he will go
So-
for a wander.
yeah, one thing that happened was when Lyko said 100,000 up front and then started to explain we got more, I replied, sure, let's do it, and just walked into their ship.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
that could have happened like just after I finished the explanation there.
Yeah. I was like, 100,000? Fine, let's go. Sounds good. Perfect. Easy money.
Yep.
Because I'd probably give him 20,000 and I'd be like, that sounds like a lot of money, man. I'm going to get that.
I think
Honestly.
Lyko is very aware of the high probability of death involved in this.
I had a number in my head that I was at least expecting. And you went above it, so that was fine.
I have deleted a digit from my credits, so.
Was it the first
Oh,
digit?
no, back on top with the money. Excellent.
Stephen may increase his, and
Mhm.
I
I have money now.
Yeah.
as he walks past, he'll probably like Lyko immediately gets out his comm and starts filtering, and you will receive a transaction.
Where do I put money?
When does the captain get paid? That's what I want to know. Right, I've got to pay everybody else, right? So when does someone pay the captain?
When you do something that makes you money, you've done nothing that has made you money.
I fucking tried, mate. I tried for like 5 straight sessions and I fucking met Grin and Norma. In fact, I didn't. Colin did.
Well, I don't know.
So
I don't know, but you
Good
kept
chat to
Zora,
that
but
church.
I just made 100,000. I think I'm doing quite good.
New business works. You subcontract me, I get the money from Dorma, and I use that money to buy the assistance of another person. There we go.
Where do I put money?
this is what
Oh, well.
Query's leg bought you, right?
He'll be
There we
fine in the long run.
Done. Sorted. 100,000 credits.
Yeah.
Yeah, been the money.
And look at what I also thought about, and I didn't say this the other day, but I was thinking about it after the session. That's a perfect bonding opportunity for Query and Weird. Go and they can find Dorbat and break his legs.
I
I'm
mean,
sure between
yeah, sure.
yeah.
Why does it weird just give Query his old legs? There you go.
I might make them.
Yeah, no, to be fair. That's his business.
Yeah, I'm setting up a business selling legs and spines. So
He's not even
Yeah, these are all true facts. Yep.
Is this where you just pulled from another pocket his 2 legs and like nunchucks?
I keep them in a pocket dimension on my wrist.
I can't remember. I know that Nazma Keklik did comment on what did you want to do with your legs. I want to say that you said you didn't need them anymore, but at the same,
Yeah, but maybe escape.
like I don't recall what really needs to happen with them, but I'm sure whatever it is, Nazma Keklik either has binned them or has them on ice somewhere, so they can be retrievable if need be.
probably kept them in ice because they could be.
Also, just to give people a generic overview, I'm an envoy.
We had one of those ones.
Yeah, it's a handy class
No, that'll
to
come
have
as
in.
a shock.
Yeah, he's playing the Steven class. Yeah.
I'm an ace pilot themed envoy.
Yeah.
I'm an operative.
Yes.
I'm a mechanic.
I'm a
Ish.
space Jedi
As opposed to non-space Jedi.
Yeah.
with fire.
Yes. You're a Godzilla that likes gravity bombs. That's what you are. And they're sick.
Yeah,
I
Godzilla,
am
that's
just
it.
like I am playing the Zig class.
Yeah, Zig is the problem class, right?
Zig
Problem.
is a Vesk word that translates as medkit. So
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. It was
Well, I have agreed to this job, and I have been given some cash money.
Yep. So as you walk on board their ship, right, you walk down the the corridor, and you bump into round the corridor a 3 foot or 3.5 foot rat in some very shiny looking clothing.
That's some shiny looking clothing.
Oh, yes.
And I put my
Hi.
hand out for a high five.
Oh God! Don't do it, Cal.
I'm not going to, but I really want.
You know, the thing is, I had forgotten that he has weird things. That was literally an innocent moment of there's a little rat guy, give him a wee high five.
I think Zig will just kind of cock his head to one side and like blink once and just. I guess it's like Lyko and Zora behind.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he'll just like look at them questioningly.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'll brain calm.
I'll
Lyko.
look back at them as well, cock my head and go, he is a member of your crew, right?
He is, and in my head I will say, Dig, this is who we've hired to get us onto Eox.
Oh. Hello.
Hello.
I am Zig. And then he just nods and that's
And I turn my high five into a little wave so I don't look as awkward.
Yeah, I've been left hanging.
Lower my hand and be like, name's Kishi.
Frankie.
Okay, Zoradora.
The Explorer. Okay.
Yeah. Is that going to be our new Vesk title when this is all over? Yeah. Just retire to the stars. Oh dear. Yeah.
Godslayer, obviously, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Don't forget that. Yeah, that's...
Well, I thought it was going to be God Eater. But yeah.
Either or, that's fine. Depends how it ends.
Any of the above, yeah. I think walking down the ramp from behind you is from the bridge area. You see a android-looking lady. Do I have art for her? I think I do have art for her. Yeah, where is she? Where is she? That's not her.
That's great.
Let's see. Why is that not loading? Okay, so that browser's frozen. Well, let's wait for that to catch up with me. There we go. I'll share this in the chat. So you see this person looking slightly more professional. Slightly. Just eating a yogurt. And she's walking down. And then she just kind of like goes, "Hello, crew," and just walks past.
I just go. I'm very much like, "Hello there."
Yep.
This ship doesn't seem so bad.
She kind of just carries on down to where the mess hall is, as if she hasn't even noticed.
I love it when they ignore me.
Can you now see why Thanaida left, by the way? Yes. Oh.
He looks like trouble.
Zora is just probably just laughing maniacally at that, because he's the handful.
Not even going to say it's your first officer or nothing like that. Nothing official introductions. You're a terrible Admiral Captain.
I'll let him experience it firsthand.
Oh my.
Well, now.
I look forward to it. Oh, I spilled tea on myself. I was so excited.
Oh, poor Alice.
we should probably get together and discuss with the whole crew what the process of getting down to Yax is going to be like.
I keep looking down the corridor after Alice and go, "Yep, get the whole crew together."
Because I don't think anyone other than us has done it.
Well, we can scene change to the briefing room if you want to call everybody for a staff meeting. Zora?
Yeah, sure. Everybody's in the briefing room.
Is that your admiral voice now?
No, I'll just send a message right to everybody, even though everybody's right here.
I mean, everybody isn't there. Like, Weird
it's
isn't there, Ivan isn't there, Alice isn't there.
But we'll send it to everybody, even
Yeah.
the people who's here.
Mhm.
Because it doesn't really delete the names after like.
Yeah, it's a group
sent us.
text, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, then I guess we're...
just go like a pre-paste.
And then, yeah, I think we'll just transition to the briefing room, which is just a fairly blue-tinted room that has a big hollow table in the middle and no chairs.
Yeah.
Zig is sitting.
And in that... Oh, sorry, Karen?
As this Weir's going to walk in then
Mhm.
and introduce himself.
Yeah. You can be the last one in if you want, then everybody else can be in, because we have Ivan, who's been there first. Apparently he was very eager to get there. Which is just obviously a 5-foot square, or cube, and of what looks like digital jelly. And
I think as I stand around this briefing area, I just look at the captain and go, I feel like this is not an official endeavor.
Nobody says that this was anything to do with any officials at all.
No, they didn't have to.
Really? Why?
I literally just gave him a look, being like,
He's oblivious.
just gesture at his crew.
I think Alice does walk over to you when she finishes her yogurt. She sits it down under the briefing table and then walks over and she goes, "You changed your skin colour." And she just stares at you. Raise.
Me or
Yeah, you.
not yet. I haven't.
She just looks you up and down. She goes, "Oh, and your leg's better."
I mean, there's
Whisper to
there's
Kevin, is she doing
a lot of me's very. Hello, I'm Raze Kishi.
"You've changed your name! Yay!" And she just smiles.
Oh, sure.
She just hugs you.
I look at everyone else and just be like, give him that cool kid thumbs up from the rad gift. I like this shit.
And she goes, "Well, I'm still Alice. I'm the first of the officers." And then she walks back and then looks sad that her yogurt's empty.
Hold on, can I make more yogurt? Let me see.
Do I have make more yogurt as a spell?
Well, I might do actually. I'm not sure if token spell can just make more yogurt appear in the old yogurt.
I'll let you read it, but I don't think it can. But I'll let you read it because I'm open
Okay.
to things. So, how does the briefing go, Captain?
Can we get it in the archive?
Oh, I can cook food
Pile.
and flavor food. That's
Right.
what I can do.
Okay.
So, okay. How about we start with what we know we can do? Because I'm here. We can get on Eox. My shuttle can bypass their defenses. Don't ask how. Not because it's a secret, but because I don't know. It can sit down onto the planet's surface, so we can get as close to where we need to go as possible. And from there is where I have no idea, and it's over to you guys. Thank you for your time.
Alice claps.
I give a small bow.
She finger guns.
Have
You got back. Brilliant. I'm just gonna stand next to Alice and just be like, I can't wait to see what your crew does.
So yeah, you were saying?
Then we just walk in, right?
Yeah,
Spite everybody.
It's not going to be that easy. We're going to have to work out our way in. This isn't exactly something people have done often.
Is there anything to stop us phasing through the walls?
I imagine you've just phased through the wall and said that.
Yes. That's how I interpret it.
That's a good question. Possibly not. I assume they would have preempted that. Also, weird, raise, weird.
Greetings.
Came through the wall.
Yeah. Weird is, yeah.
I really like this ship.
That's not any wall, that's my armor. Before you try anything.
What? Literally just like, what's going on, Alice?
Alice looks at you and goes, I really like yogurt.
I'll keep that in mind. That's cleared things up as much as I expect.
She nods like sagely with you, like as if you've got a secret you now share.
Do we have any any sort of like pre-existing rumors about where like the archive might be, so as to give us a guess whereabouts in the planet we might
Why
land?
doesn't everybody do a rumours roll based on culture, and we'll see what everybody knows about it, and we'll see what we can put together from everybody's snippets of the.
Also, roll 20 is really slow for me right now.
Mm.
No Starfinder skill. Oh wow!
Yeah.
But then that makes sense. You two are both smugglers, or were. I mean, we still really are.
I'm really bringing the average right down. I'm sorry, guys.
Hey, you're from the
We still got the captain.
Wait.
Don't- Oh dear.
They are. Whoa!
Yeah.
Good shit.
Look at that. Look at that. See?
Yeah, I'm a cultured lad, mate.
He's a space
cultured,
celebrity,
man.
I'll have you know.
Well, he's
I'm
he's always
fucking
been the
cultured.
code. I completely forgot about that earlier.
Like he is a. He is pretty
Which
space
case,
famous.
I think I'll say, okay, Captain, you fought here, right?
Yep. Fought here pretty much most of the war. On and off.
Did you hear anything about it?
Only about the electroencephalons. Not too much about the archive itself. I never heard of the archivist until we heard about the mission.
Yeah, it probably makes sense, right? It probably makes sense that the fucking Obsidian Star operative, right? Your group, your cell, as it were probably tasked to learn as much as inhumanly possible, I guess, on the planet about the location of where that is, because that is the strategic target on Eox. Because there's no point fighting the Bone Sages if they're just going to come back and come back and come back. You may as well nuke the resurrection ship if we Battlestar Galactica this. You need to destroy the resurrection ship and then you can take them out.
You can you rule anywhere out?
Well, I'll just point at various places that I've checked and fought. And on like the holo table, of course, because there's obviously a map of like Eox or something on the holo table, right?
Honestly, I took that for granted too.
Yeah, no, like there is. I'm just surprised I don't have that to hand right immediately, because I did, and apparently I don't just now, because I'm sure I made a page for that. But I guess you just have to wait till I build a new page for that.
I would assume, as a famous space captain, you can ask people for
So he's definitely
military
not.
stuff.
He's definitely not famous for being a space captain. He's definitely famous for being a war hero Vesk that then became the first diplomat of the Vesk.
With all of that in mind, surely you can phone your old war buddies and go, yo, any secrets?
Not
One of your
particularly.
finest secrets, please.
Not
That would
particularly.
be unwise.
One war buddy is
More unwise than what we're doing.
One war
Yeah.
buddy at this moment in time would probably think I'm betraying her, and the other is, well, not really a war buddy, but the other's, let's not talk about him.
We only had 2 friends.
There's more, but none that can really help us.
I mean, I can't speak much. I don't have any.
There are only a couple of people in higher places in the Viscarium. The captain.
So the best thing we have at our disposal is your memory.
Best thing we've got at our disposal is maybe Ramasefu, but I think we've got all we could get out of her.
She would have told us if she knew anything, or if she wanted to. And I don't think we're convincing her to part with anything she didn't want to part with. But between your knowledge of the planet's surface, your knowledge of the planet's surface point, and weird, I'm gonna have to say, you bound to know something. You were involved in the smuggling of certain wares, weren't you?
Illicit oxygen equipment. Yes.
I think it's probably weird, based on his cultural, that supplies the map that I will eventually get to everyone's faces.
I just picked it up from
Yeah.
my conspiracy grade folders.
Mhm.
It's the areas that we've ruled out based on forum postings.
And I will get to
If
that.
we triangulate that with any information the two of you have, we could probably narrow it down further.
Further.
Roller.
Yeah, we don't need to know where it is. We just need to know where it's not.
Hey, it's true. If we know enough places that it isn't.
I mean, sure, yeah. And if you find it, what's the plan?
Apparently, was Ramasefu who said this. It's just the archivist we need to worry about. Whatever that is.
And there's no chance of just drift jumping through past the archivist.
Uh,
I literally look at him with like, what?
That,
I drift jumped the ship into the gardens of Absalom Station as it was being blown up.
don't think this place would be
There's
big enough.
You see, oh yeah, that was the other thing I said while I was muted. Lyco knows where I'm from, where my home planet is. My home planet is that station.
Yep.
yeah.
Sorry, my home planet
probably,
was that station.
I probably cringe as he was as Weird was saying that.
Mm.
He did do that.
Just to clarify, while it was blowing up.
Just before it blew up, so that we could engage in rescue operations, and then I drift jumped out of there as well.
It was really quite impressive.
Should do it again.
Poor SK.
This-
Never gets
Good,
credited.
There's no station.
Yeah, well, she died.
I love that. Sorry,
This
let's
guy-
not overlook his shade there, by the way. His android shade, where he says, I would, but there's no station.
Oh yeah,
That was
yeah.
mighty.
we
Tactical.
don't exactly have a good enough reader in this place to try that. That unfortunately has a high chance of just crashing us into the,
You do also remember that the defense field is still there. That's why I'm here.
yeah, that too.
I was going to ask.
So it's a shuttle that can get us past the defense field that doesn't have a drift drive.
Very well.
So it's not
No possibility of upgrading it.
With the drift, I mean, not by me.
has anyone heard from Craig yet?
I just trust a drift drive installed by him, or at least to get us to where we intend to go.
Yeah.
There's
Just
no word.
to clarify, did you install a drift ride for someone, and you're now saying you've not heard from them since? Is that what that conversation was?
No, he installed a drift drive on a mech suit, and now he is gone.
Which has never been heard of, by the way, something so small or unshielded. It's literally like taping a warp engine to the back of somebody.
He's a skitter man. Glyco says that sort of like gesturing with one hand as if that explains everything.
Hey, I like my shuttle, and I want to keep it. I only have one left.
You can buy a new one with 100,000, right?
I mean, you're not wrong.
Let's do it the old-fashioned way. Let's
It's
just
100
land.
submarines, Stephen.
I already have one. Why don't you do that on 99?
100 submarines.
I may or may not have a submarine in my cargo hold, just in case, guys.
Okay.
You never know. Yes.
So yeah, between us, like with our knowledge, working knowledge of the planet, can we triangulate like a rough area for them?
You definitely can.
Was there rolls decent enough? Yeah.
Yeah. I'm still just building. It's because apparently the page.
Oh, sorry, I need to BRB 2 seconds.
No problem.
Is this just there's a montage of him going here, and one of us going no.
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah.
here, no.
It is.
Having a laugh, eating yogurt with Alice.
Mhm. And her not knowing really what's going on, but she's happy to be involved. Yeah. Maybe her begrudgingly sharing a yogurt.
If I can't make yogurt.
I know. Like
What's the
what?
point in these
Yeah, I was
skills?
gonna say what use are you?
What are these skills? I can cook dinner with magic? No, I want to make yogurt repair.
I mean, you'd think cantrips were going to be better than that, right? But evidently they have let us down yet again, Starfinder. Yet again.
Fuck you, then, sorry.
Besides that, so adding this. Okay, so with this latest upload, I should be able to move us on to the Eoxian map in a second. Finally, yeah, Roll20 deleted a bunch of my Friday game stuff, like all of the folder organization got wiped on my Friday game, so everything just became a clusterfuck. And in this, I don't know where the pages went for this, but I remember doing all of this work because this was a mission that was planned for ages. And apparently my map just doesn't exist for it, so unless I dreamt making the map, which is also possible, it's obviously went missing, which is annoying.
Me.
So are we going to get one of the fabulous hand-drawn?
If only. No, it's
Oh yeah, I keep forgetting.
No expense spared.
I can make my character sheet a separate thing from Roll20, so it's not over the.
Yeah, and also if you double click the like near the name of it at the top, it'll just minimize it to grey, and then you can double click it to expand it again, which is handy, without it being popped out, obviously. Right, okay, so this should have worked. If it doesn't, well, that'll be interesting. It might just be this browser that's the problem. So here we go. Here's some Eox.
Did we ever re-establish party-wide brain comms?
No, you did not.
No.
Nope.
Okay.
Nope, it's just you.
Great Aaron Rift. I guess the Great Aaron Rift.
Because of headaches, we broke it again. I remember that.
There we go.
Eox.
Eox. Mm-hmm.
Or the Catacomb Mountains. That also sounds
So
a good place.
the place that is safe for people that require living conditions is the packed port. Obviously. So this is like, this wall area is habitable. And you have ruled that out. Because you can imagine everybody and their mother has went there.
It's obviously in the pile, right?
Is there a chance we could go to there to buy better spacesuits? Or
No,
outside the walls?
because the reason it exists is to stop other people being elsewhere on the planet. That is literally the way of the Eoxians saying, don't go anywhere else, please stay here. It's very much
I
deliberate.
return it.
Welcome back. You come back to a nice map. So there we go.
I do indeed.
Where would
So-
I have thought?
So yeah, arguably you'd have thought anywhere in the south.
Probably anywhere in the south, and I
So
imagine
give me a
probably,
second.
like,
Let me just.
Grim
Well, this I'll
Beach.
color code this right based on what you can knowledge. So let's just do. Where's the pen tool? I want freehand and orange for Zora. So.
Imagine probably maybe Grim Reach as well, maybe just something close
So,
to the port,
like-
because obviously you try to take a port, right?
Yeah, like let's just say that area there, right, south. This is the area that the Vesk fought in. And then let's go for weird. Weird can rule out everything that normal people went to, and you can rule out there as well.
Oh fuck.
And then Lyco, you can rule out that chunk there. And what else am I dealing with roll-wise? Where's my rolls went to? We got 30, 19, 28, and 40, 32. And where is that? So you are that strange colour. Let me acquire that colour. Is that colour? That is that colour. And you can rule out and let me adjust that slightly.
I can change myself to a nicer colour next time for you.
If we ever did it now, I'll change that.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Trying to pick a colour that's not the same as those guys.
How about purple?
Okay, because thingy was pink, I didn't want to get it too close, but yeah, I'm
That's
fine
okay.
with purple. I like purple.
So, now, as for the culture rules, Zig knows nothing about Eox. There's nothing about Eox. It's too dark and not sunny enough for him to care about it.
Horrible place.
For Lanko, you have enough information to suggest it's unlikely to be in the Catacomb Mountains, which are a vast, massive network of hard to navigate death traps. However, it might be one of those hiding in plain sight problems, right? Because it's one of the most searched places that isn't that safe space, right? The Pact Port area. That is the most searched place. Weird getting the best roll can rule out the most interesting looking place on the map, which is the Pyre. Nobody, even other bone sages, don't seem to go there, is what Weird had learned about that in his grim past.
Try to go there. Don't recommend.
Yeah, like even bone sages are like, there's a bone sage that lives there and he's a bit weird and we just have left him to it forever. So that's fine. So nobody bothers that person. And it's, who knows if they even left with everybody else or if they stayed. You'd need to ask a bone sage probably if he was one of the survivors of the massacre. And the Vesk fought in that pretty grim looking part in the south. Hence why you've got things like the Eternal Barrows, which was probably where the battle was focused on. That was probably where the Bone Sages stood their ground. And obviously, Raze can rule out the fact that the place he would have visited primarily would have been the Pact Port area. And then anything brave enough to like venture north and south of that. So you can rule out an overlap. So the places that you're unsure about would be everything that's not covered in one of those colours. And Lyco's area may contain the archive, but at the same time, it's less likely based on how many people over the years have searched there and died there. But that is, the Catacomb Mountains are one of the most illegally trespassed areas on Eox that have had people caught, let's put it that way. I think, I guess even maybe the rumours from other people, like Weird, you could probably like double up and say things like the Catacomb Mountains have almost been positioned and designed to attract people, as well. So that's what
The
you.
information
Go for it.
at hand, I would say obliate.
Obliate.
Opiate.
Just because it's close enough to the area where people are like, we don't want to go to there. Far enough away, like the opposite side of the area where the packed port and such is. So it's pretty much as far away from where people are.
Technically, it's next to it.
Yeah.
I mean, it depends. I don't know if this is the whole planet. I just assumed this was the section of the planet.
See, from I was gonna say purely based on the image you put in the Sci-Fi General chat text one, I think it's the whole planet. Because look at that picture. That looks like the front end and the back end, doesn't it? And that would be the was it the Fasanora Basin and then the Packport area. So
I mean, these are pretty vast scales.
sorry, the Lifeline is what it's called. The Lifeline is what that area is called. The sealed off area.
Oh yeah, it says that.
Yeah.
Well,
And-
I still see there because it looks like
Yeah.
it's in a wee dip.
Yeah.
It looks interesting.
We're probably looking at the Atraxian shelf somewhere, but
Canox seems like just such an open plain for a very, important thing to be.
He's done pretty well though. You just have narrowed it down to 3 places really, and maybe secretly in the Catacomb Mountains. But really, realistically, 3 more attractive places.
I feel like Exantius is too close to the battlefront to not have been discovered.
Fair.
But
They
it's
were
sort of thing
close.
between two sort of well explored spots. It
I mean,
isn't
we
the-
could try a flyby with the shuttle anyway. Once we're there, we can see if anything stands out.
It's going to be buried deep, I'd assume.
probably, but maybe
I just know I know how limited a time we'll have once we're out of the ship.
I think. Do you want to give me a piloting role as well, Stephen, for Raze?
Yeah.
Anybody else that's willing to do a piloting role, feel free to. And this is a knowledge-based thing, so feel free to throw in piloting if you want to.
but I
Okay.
might as well.
I would do it with my +2.
Oh,
That's the worst you can roll, eh?
Okay.
Oh yeah, I just saw this. It's such a +8. Little things.
Right. So
Yeah.
I think there's actually some theme stuff I have actually that we can check.
no worries, but I think we know that Weird has no opinions about this. I can tell you that for a fact. LIGO has possibly some of the more educated opinions about this. It does kind of make sense, and I'll explain why that Zig gets the most information about this in a second. But I'll wait and see what Raze comes up with for his theme stuff, because you are a pilot.
This is like flashback, Stephen. I've been here before.
Hey, sometimes space is dark. Okay.
Literally, I think it's literally the opposite. I have never went there.
Mhm.
It is literally the don't go area, and if I have no reason to go there,
Mhm.
I don't. In
So-
fact, full disclosure, I've never been on Eox. My crew took the shuttle to Eox.
Why would Ben this guy 100k again?
Because I can get you on Eox. That's the difference.
Why aren't your crew getting us on Eox?
They were on the station.
Yeah.
and that blew up.
My station blew
Oh.
up too, says Alice.
That one was awful.
Don't know if I'm taking credit for that one. I refuse to take credit for that one.
There were
I used to have a crew and 2 shuttles. Now I have only 1 shuttle and no crew. Hence why I don't want you messing around with the shuttle.
Fair.
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 Weird.
Oh.
Do we have anything on the forums or what have you, rumor mill, that would indicate any?
Before you get into that, right, because that seems like a second topic, I'll complete the piloting rule conversation then, right? So,
Sorry.
Zig
Oh, nice.
points out, right, with the amount of heat that the pyre would be giving out, the flying near it would be very dangerous, especially in something like a shuttle. Which is maybe another reason why Raze knows nothing about that, because nobody's ever even hinted at going near it. But Zig knows enough about this because Zig lived on the sun. And they needed very special
that's fair.
magnetic containment corridors that come out of the sun to like let you fly close to it to land in their space bubbles. So like, to explain for anyone that's a bit confused about why the rat can live on the sun, this is the sun city. And to get into any of
Isn't it
those,
beautiful.
nobody knows who built them either. It's super safe. Not a plot waiting to happen at all, but there are corridors that lead away from the sun, and you have to get into one of those corridors, and then you're like magnetically protected to get to it. I say magnetically, I just made that up. Yeah, right. Keep in mind there were rumours that there were demons in the sun, so yes, like there are definitely better ways to live.
You know, I smuggle things to Eox, but some people live on a sun. Just saying. Respect.
Alice gets excited and goes, "He does, or did." But we didn't blow that up.
Oh yeah.
No,
I-
we didn't.
I should have asked for more than 100,000. In fact, I didn't even ask for that. You gave me it. It's all about perspective. Yes.
I think Alice looks over at Zora and goes, "I would like to book a future conversation about compensation."
Sweet Daiko.
I'm getting the gist that Lyco's the quartermaster of this shit.
No. Yes, actually. For the most part, I have been the quartermaster, and that's why I'm broke. And now they've got friends that give them money, and I've got no friends, so I don't get money.
By friends that give them money, they turned over a fake person to get a bounty.
I mean,
a fake
don't-
person. He's a real
don't-
person.
Well,
don't
that's
feel so
questionable.
bad, Zora. I just recently became flush, so if we survive this, I'll take you out for a night on the town.
I mean, I saved Lyco's ass, man. That's technically my money.
I,
Stupid
li-
idea.
I literally like look at my compad and point to my bank balance. I go, no, it's mine.
No.
Captain, I was
Never
happy
actually.
to part with it on account of your
I was even happier for you to part with it.
the specifics of who's financing what aside. We can probably, if Fascinor Basin is too hot for us to approach, does that make us more interested in it or less? I know the indication seems to be that it's basically a no-go zone, but
I'd say more.
I
I mean,
would,
we are around. We're around orbit, right? We're in orbit.
user in orbit, right? I would say the thing to highlight, right, for Lyco's knowledge here would be if the shuttle is like unsafe to fly near it, your
yeah,
suits.
we wouldn't be safe to go near it.
Correct. Yeah, that does fit. Obviously, if you can find a way around that, if you want to go exploring it, carry on.
Okay, so fire death area, areas that are likely to
Orbit.
not have it, or Exantius. It's really what it sounds like.
The one you can say, you mean? Sorry,
You're
what was
not on
it?
Stanox. That's easy to say.
What were you saying, Zora?
What about Lacustria Hall? Nah, it's a bit too plainy in
Is
it.
there-
It's too
Where?
plain.
Lacustria Hollow. Oh, okay.
It's like a.
Plains in the north.
Yeah, it's a big area in the
We're
north.
out. I don't know. This kind of.
I was only looking at blue dots, to be fair. It's a-
It's a big area,
Look-
right?
and there's other bits. They're blue dots.
I like the idea that this isn't raised input. Well, it's one of the blue dots, right? And he goes, what about this giant area that nobody's explored? Yeah, but there's no blue dots. He's like, yeah, I just said it was unexplored. Dots, man.
Usually reason they're unexplored.
So, yeah.
Oubliette. It's got to be oubliette.
We can't go out to Oubliette. It's really warm.
Oh,
No, it's
shit.
the pyre's the problem. They were going to say the pyre is the problem with the heat, not
Oh,
like
okay.
Oubliette,
Oubliette.
Thanox, and Exantius, Lacustria, Hollow, and anything unexplored around that is all viable. Everything else has been vited.
Yeah. So, do we have anything?
Also, the
Any rumors of potential location?
Traskian shelf is also valid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you guys have a AI we can ask? to
Finn
calculate
appears.
the most?
This like orange Vesk appears. I was called for
Finn.
Admiral. How may I help?
Can you bring any possible intel on the location of the archive for Eox? On Eox?
Now, I don't want to step on any toes, Admiral. If
Shoot
we
me
have
like.
intel, what we would like him to do is calculate the most likely location based on the intel we've provided.
Unless he can provide additional intel.
I mean, if you can provide additional also, that would be great. But he should also use what we have as well.
Agreed.
And then Finn just looks between everybody that's speaking, and then arms folded behind his back, and goes, "Admiral, we, since rejoining the Viscarium, now have access to the expanded database. Do you wish me to use their resources also?"
Captain,
Nod.
before we do anything, can we be clear? Finn, would that register and would any access be monitored?
All access would be monitored. However, only if someone had a reason to be looking for us would they find us.
Your call, Captain.
Let's just do it. It'd be doing
Remember to
stuff
sign all
for the
searches.
cause.
Captain Zoradar.
But yeah, I'm fine with it. I don't care what Demogesh knows.
Brave words, everybody. Can we just?
Yep.
Can
It probably should in this case, but if
Just the thing, I gave him a warning. There was a warning.
even
there.
Finn gave him a warning, but it's fine. This is how
The
it
only
goes.
rules I'm looking up info about the archive is not like I'm saying I'm trying to do this, so
What
it's
if we
gonna do this.
change our space search to where to bomb on Eox? Will that make it look less or more suspicious?
Less suspicious, to be honest.
Okay, where
so,
to bomb
let-
on Eox?
Can I just? I want to comment on that exact thing. That would maybe look. Well, who is Demogesh, your direct boss, in league with Zora?
Yeah, I mean, I know, but he probably doesn't care about the fucking. He probably needs to know about that sort of shit as well, eventually.
But if you type in
That's
where to bomb, right, then
I don't actually expect
not
to
going to be
type in
things that
anything.
he doesn't want bombed.
yeah, like I would say that's a bad move. Is the idea of searching that? However, you've asked Finn to use the database. I'm assuming you still want to do that.
Yeah, just do it for the archive, man. Like, it's not like I'm saying, like,
Yeah,
I'm
like
looking
a-
for Cindergirl. Let's like revive Cindergirl. It's not like I'm saying that, like.
He'll
So-
probably.
Well, I'm watching this orange Vesk and just making sure he's not taking any more notes about all the extra commands he's talking about.
Yeah.
I'm looking for
dear.
That's not an RP, right? If we
searching
explain
for
Oh.
where to like, find the archivist. I'm not looking for Syndael. Not at all looking for Syndael. What's Syndael? Searching.
I mean, is that likely to happen in this game? Yes. Is that typical of this group? Also, yes. Does the AI take a lot of inspiration? Yes. Right, okay. Have I put everything I want to put on this map? Possibly. And okay, so Finn stands there pleasantly and says, "One moment while I..." What's the phrase? And he looks at Lyko briefly. "Run the numbers."
No, damn.
And
That's exactly how I would have put it, probably.
and then you get these targets appearing.
Okay, so it's Thanos.
I look at Zora. Damn it!
I mean, we've ruled it. Yeah, and
We know.
It's looking less likely if Vesk's official records indicate they don't.
Which could imply that Oubliette is the best kept secret.
It could. That's also true.
By her logic, it's not even an Eox.
Yeah. By your logic. What about... Okay.
I'll move all these to the side of where they actually are so you can read them, right? Yeah. Just to make it slightly easier. Maybe. So I'll put that there. That's the, let's put it there. Like, yeah, that'll do. And then that can go at the side there, and that can go beneath there.
But we were pretty confident based on our intel on the smuggling rings, as it happens, that Church of Silence can be probably be ruled out on account of its proximity to the Catacomb Mountain. We're pretty confident it's not, simply everyone's been looking for it there forever. Karis, that would be within the area.
So it's the Halls of the Living.
Halls of the Living.
Not Karis.
Huh? Well, actually, I mean, the Halls of the Living is interesting because that would actually be exactly what it sounds like, right? And I don't think the Vesk actually found the living Eoxians, right?
The Vesk fought, and again, they ruled out that orange area, according to Zora. But it does appear that it seems like there's intel, right?
Yeah,
there's intel that came from the Vesk database. The one that is one of the possible of 4 targets.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I think at this point, I'm pulling up the comm and doing some trolling through the internet myself.
Yeah.
Let's see.
I'm calling Exantius.
Any particular reason, or just one of those 1 in 4?
So where's the 4th? Is the 4th behind people's? Oh, there it is. I can scroll down. Hey!
Wait a minute, there's more of this planet.
There's more blue dots. I didn't notice. They were behind Zora's icon. Who would have known?
Oh dear.
Big guy, what can I say?
It's because I hide them all in the stream.
Roll?
You tell me what you want to do.
I want to search on the sort of CC and such like, looking for any indication that might plausibly be somewhat accurate. Which is
Can you? It's weird, right? Because who would have been the best person for this as well?
CC.
It's so weird they vanished.
Although weird is that, yeah.
Funny that.
Although weird is also probably a close second, but I'll be doing that. Shall I roll?
No. I think the fact that the Vesk database has pinpointed these 4 means that also probably pulled from everything you're likely to get access to. So you'd need to find a way to get access to things that maybe the Vesk wouldn't have to add to this.
I have an idea.
Right, well, you see your idea, then I'll see mine. Go on.
One of my crewmates was the who went down to Eox. I could access his logs and see if there's anything there that could help narrow things down. And this is mostly a narrative reason of why I can take 20 on a cultural check. to recall knowledge and such. Even if I didn't have access to a terminal or other means of research, I'm a cultural savant.
Mm-hmm.
So, given enough time, I can just take 20 on a check. And I feel like that might be worth doing.
I mean, anything we can do right now is only useful. So, absolutely.
Okay, so there's your idea. What was Lyco's?
I was going to put it to Lyco that I could borrow his cop credentials.
That's sort of what I was thinking, yeah. Do you want to suggest that?
Yes.
Then?
If I could borrow your credentials, I know your user details already caused some system issues, which may allow us to prompt further access.
You're correct. There were problems with.
Yes, how did I know that?
I'm not gonna ask.
None of us are going to ask.
Chuck my call and say, "Here, get what you need."
Cool. I would like to attempt to hack the police, please, Ryan.
Well, this is the sound of the police, and we say that you'll also need to then connect up to, obviously, the Galactic HoloNet. Let's call it just that for no other reason.
I'm glad I got paid up front.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
As you slowly walk back to your ship and just uncouple and fly away.
Hacking the police is nowhere near the most illegal stuff I usually do for the crew.
To be fair, like...
Probably not even the most illegal stuff we're going to do in this arc.
Yeah.
I think the last arc had me rigging up fake explosives on a police.
The thing to be clear, it's not the illegality that's the problem. It's the likelihood of being caught because of the legality.
Also, making the fake bomb on the police ship to dock within the other police ship wasn't the least legal thing you did on there. It was the going to take away and help escape like an active detainee of the police.
There were a few issues.
Weren't you also going to turn their shields off, or was that somebody else?
I was talking about turning their shields off and sort of locking them out of their navigation systems.
Yeah. While there was a bone sage or a corpse ship in front of them. Yeah, it's fine. Legality is secondary. This isn't a big damn heroes campaign.
Acatonian to the core.
Yeah. Acatonian Junkrats all the way. That should be the levels of this game. Big damn hero, Junkrat, or everybody else. Right, so what data are you looking for? Tell me, like, what would you like to use the police network for?
I want to use the police network to look for probably details from other people trying to commit smuggling, thefts, those sorts of things, or where they're likely to have been attempting to breach.
Right. Okay.
Why don't you? Can you look for the areas that seem to have the least success with smuggling?
Yes, the most dead smugglers, please.
So the most attempts at like out of those four targets, what's had the most, runs? I guess like the most arrests, essentially.
The fewest successful runs.
To me, that would be still the most arrests, then, right?
Well, no, because there's the issue of baselines in the same way that the more populated a city is, the more crime will be there, but not necessarily the most crime per capita.
But I would say that the argument for likely targets is the same thing every other smuggler has done, this exact conversation, right? Where they've went, right, where do you think it's going to be based on what rumours we've got access to? So if there is one place that's targeted more often... Yeah.
If this was suicidal, people wouldn't attempt it as often.
But the more dangerous it is, the more money's hidden there. Obviously, that's how it works, right?
What I'd go for, the way I would do it, from my smuggling experience, is the one with the least arrest.
Right.
Because my assumption is that those people would just be killed for getting close, rather than allowed to be arrested.
Okay, so that does come up where you've got least arrest, which is the lack of data, and then that would leave open for speculation whether it was people actually attempting it or not. So that doesn't really give you an answer. Does that make sense? Why it doesn't really give you an answer? Because
it may be worth looking in.
Yeah, but it gives us an answer in terms of how we're looking at it.
Yeah, it tells you the least interacted zone.
Or the least reported zone.
Correct. Which comes back to my, is it the most reported or least reported that you wanted, right? Because obviously the least reported just tells you either this is clearly the place or definitely isn't the place based on numbers.
I would definitely stand by the most reported is the least likely place for it to be.
Okay. So, what one do you think the police can supply you with?
The most reported.
Okay. So we're going with what I said.
We can triangulate, yeah, with the most report, like via the most reported, what the least reported area is.
Okay, that sounds good to me.
An overlay by quadrant of numbers of reported cases.
Okay, 2 seconds. Let me bring that up then, because clearly this needs to be a thing.
I want a spreadsheet, Ryan. I want a spreadsheet.
Oh, I'm getting there.
I'm waiting for a spreadsheet as well, actually. Never mind that. But just more easy to understand.
Yeah, we're basically wanting to use survivor bias as the inverse.
Oh no, like I get the numbers game. I get that entirely. It's more just because somewhere doesn't have any data doesn't mean to say it. It's because they covered it up.
I get
But it does make sense. Like I'd probably have used the same kind of logic if I was in the game myself.
Yeah.
Right, so we'll bring up the thinking.
The thinking.
Stats.
And then we'll get him to roll a computers check. Him being weird.
I wouldn't call him.
I would.
Sort of a thing at this point. Sorry, mate. You're a thing. Or whatever you want to be.
Great movie.
It is actually a great movie.
Jordan Carpenter's The Thing.
The Thing, yep. It's kind of glorious, actually. This is taking a very long time to upload. If I cancel that and then try that again, this time with feeling.
Every night the same.
Did we get a computers roll, Alex?
Oh yeah. I can press that button.
Press that button.
Press the
Press
button.
that button, y'all. Push the button.
Good.
Push the button.
There you go.
Oh wow, the GIF.
It's the GIF. My God, it's the GIF.
It's weird having his moment. Right, and then I need some.
It's nice beard.
This isn't the first stochastic navigation I've been involved in.
Right, I then need some kind of sense motive roll from you. Weird.
Oh God.
Yeah, I know. I could also do perception if you wanted.
Yes, please.
Okay.
32.
Based on that, the Church of Silence is the most reported place. Most incidents happen at the Church of Silence.
Okay.
Okay.
What do we say it's the Church of Silence? Do you have any information beyond the name?
Probably. Let me go bring it up.
Is this the police that's handled this, or is it like the Oxygen officials, or like...
This is data the police have, so it's been reported to the stewards.
Yeah, and that would be in
I doubt it.
what we know about that whole region, right? That it is probably the most searched.
Church of Silence.
I think I kind of figured that was going to be the case.
Right, I'll give you this piece of information then. So, located on a highland area that was once an island just off the continent of Atraskea, the Church of Silence is considered part of the Atraskian Shelf, despite being just beyond the long-gone coastline. The Church of Silence is an ancient monument to the perfection of undeath that has existed as neutral ground among the Bone Sages for eons, and as the closest thing to sacred place the undead of Yox have. Without reading the 2 times the length paragraph, can you now see why people search this a lot?
Yeah, suddenly I think it's that. But on the other hand, that's exactly what all
suddenly I
these
think-
fucking idiots have been trying to find. Is it?
Yeah.
Sure, they're not all idiots. Some of them.
I guess it's either Xanthias or Thanox, right? I mean, I know that doesn't narrow it too much, man. It's a 50-50 at that point. Like, but
You want to flip a coin?
I don't know, man. Xanthias just feels like it, right? I don't know why, but I don't know, man.
But
Well, it
weird.
is that,
One
like-
second. Weird. You're reasonably certain your hack went undetected.
So
Oh,
can we
shame.
bring up any info on like Thanox and Xanthias
Nice.
at all, somehow?
You tell me. How would
Cool.
I know? But what I mostly mean by that is like who knows what about these places.
Anybody know anything about Xanthias or Thanox, is what I would say. And
Yeah, wasn't he the one with the big glove?
yeah, 5 joules in that movie. I remember
Do we
that.
know? Do any of us know? It didn't come up in any of the roles, but that was more sort of.
No, I think like I can give I'll give you some blurb about both of them for Weird's knowledge, because Weird's obviously studied a lot of this with a Culture 40, right?
Yeah.
So
I ran out of languages, so
yeah, so alphabetically, Xanthias is first in the book. So one of the newest necropoli, Xanthias was founded and constructed by undead from other worlds only 50 years ago. The Eternal Convocation, which is essentially the government of Bone Sages, reluctantly gave permission to Tzurk, which is a Shurin host undead, to create this settlement as a show of good faith to the rest of the Pack World, but has yet to grant them a seat on their council. Xanthias is a burgeoning city, or at least was, as non-Alibrian undead flock to the area after facing discrimination elsewhere. ... The Bone Sages are wary that this will eventually result in a shift in the planet's balance of power. While such an event would realistically take centuries to occur, the Bone Sages are known for long-term thinking. Blah 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 blah. And then Thanox, one of dozens of mid-sized necropoli scattered across Eox. Thanox is ruled by the Bone Sage referred to only as the Soulless One, and it would be unremarkable among such cities of the dead if not for its ruler's claim to fame. In the minutes after all the undead of Eox realised they were suddenly recovering from a widespread amnesia, the Soulless One moved with decisive force and claimed the city from its former ruler. Such conflicts between Bone Sages are unremarkable, but the Soulless One was the first undead to claim the rank of Bone Sage without being some form of lich or necrovite. Instead, he is an apparition, seemingly a shadow with bright green circuitry patterns forming his eyes and running along his shoulders and arms. There you go.
It's fucking Thanox. It is so Thanox that I shoot myself in the face if it is in real life.
Like, it sounds like Thanox because the Bone Sage who was there was deposed. So it's likely that no one fucking knows where it is anymore, because the guy who probably did know where it was beaten by fucking cyborg eye ghost.
Yeah, but listen, Cyber Ghost, if anyone's going to be the archivist, and also, look, immediately after
archivist
people become conscious of the gap, right?
Yeah.
Someone takes over a repository of knowledge. Surely makes sense. I think it's.
Do you want to just hear the Halls of the Living as well? Since here we are.
It might make us make less of a decision.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
Do you want us to be less decisive, Ryan?
I mean, I don't know how to answer that question. So there we are.
Neither do I. So there's your problem.
Right. So based on what you have gathered,
just because I want to see the space.
Just the silence does sound more like plausible, though, right? It's just this description one, like sacred place.
Right. So what we have so far, right? Let's review the 4 that we've got, right? So the Church of Silence was one of the most holy neutral ground places on the entire planet. We've then got Xanthias, that is like the newest city of people that aren't actually from Eox. They're like off-world or undead.
It's definitely not there.
It's
That was
not
a terrible
there.
idea, Zora.
Then-
Terrible idea.
Unless it is there,
And
because
then-
it's the least likely.
Yeah, right. Yeah, the least likely place must be the most like. Haha. Then Thanox is obviously the fucking soulless one. Space Ghost killed the Bone Sage that was in charge long ago. And then the Halls of the Living, the place that the Viscarium haven't quite ruled out of all of that place that they ruled out.
Okay.
So there's your summary. Or you just crash the shuttle into the pyre and we just make new characters. I don't really know what we just want to do here.
I'd say Thanox because it's close to the Halls of the Living. If we get there and go, this is a fucking waste of time, and I went to the Halls of the Living.
True.
I
That's it.
Thanox because oh my god, it's Thanox. But you know, I could be wrong. I have
drop
wrong.
off, see the Space Ghost, and then
the Space Ghost who's not in space, but technically is in space if you count the planet as in space.
Every planet is in space. They're all space.
Does this planet have atmosphere?
No.
Space
No.
Ghost.
Yep.
Doubly so, yeah.
Coast to coast.
Space.
Okay, so does anybody have anything else they wish to use from the resources as, like, people in this universe?
So I'm still going to go do that cultural savant roll, take a 20, checking my crew member's log.
That can be
yes. Yeah, just give me the total.
There mustn't be any other.
How do I do that?
What do you add to the d20?
But is that my rank and that?
So see if you highlight your... So roll culture, right?
Okay.
Good about this.
But speed.
So this doesn't actually count. So now highlight that, and what's every number that isn't the d20?
12, 3, 18.
Right, so assumedly you add 18 to 20
Okay.
to get 38,
Okay.
right? So that's a 38, because taking 20 just means the dice rolled a 20.
I wasn't sure if that 20
Yeah.
was like a crit or cool or anything in this or not.
No, skills don't crit. I
Right.
try not to have that happen, because at least that way you know reasonably if something's impossible. But yeah, so you have obviously a think about this with the data that comes up. You just have your montage where everybody ends up with space Chinese takeaway because nobody knows how it got delivered or where it came from, but Alice found it, so...
It's just in the fridge.
They're not radiated, are they?
It was on my ship. I have a ship of space Chinese.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
that's okay.
Imagine Old Man Guns was a crew member of his ship. That'd have been brilliant. I should have thought about that. But yeah, the data then from your undead crewmen. Probably they lived in Exantius, right? It sounds like that was...
Yeah.
Like, that sounds like, their jam. But based on the logic you've used so far, right, as a players, not necessarily characters, but yeah, like, they don't believe it to be in Exantius because Exantius is brand new and there was nothing there before. But they also think the Church of Silence is unlikely because, of course, that's the place everybody's gonna go, right? It's literally the poster child of please search here.
Yeah.
Find ways to break in.
Look at me.
Yeah, and they just think... Now, keep in mind, they might be biased. They might be like, well, I don't want people to plunder that sacred place, so I'm obviously going to say don't go there. But it's also... It's the place everybody goes, well, it's clearly this place, So they don't. So they don't think it's there either. So they are ruling out the Church of Silence, and they doubt it's on Exantius, but they are more sure about the fact that it's not going to be the Church of Silence.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
But this is one random crew member who isn't native to Eox. They just live there because they are an undead. They're a sentient undead, his former crew member. And this is their beliefs as an individual. Also as a smuggler, as well, because maybe they think maybe it is the Church of Silence and maybe they want to smuggle, it out themselves. But regardless, that is what you get from that, and that is a 30. It's the best you can roll. So you're reasonably confident with your assessment there, so you can divulge that to the crew. Does Zora have any other assets they wish to call in or use? Have a think about that.
One less.
Does Weird have any other assets they wish to call in or use? Does Zig have any other assets you wish to call in or use?
So, but
Like, as a player who knows what Zig is capable of, can we just send him in the past and find out where it was back then? And, like that's the thing, right?
Just tie
just,
Zig
like,
on
go
a
in the
string,
past,
hold him
touch
over the map,
someone.
and see when he time travels back. That's probably where he is.
Well, I mean, just hold Zig by a string, like you said, above the map, and see what area like
It's literally what I said.
toward.
Yep. Also, Lyco, same question for you as well. Any other assets you wish to call upon?
I have my theme knowledge, which I could use to make it easier to remember things about crime. So
You
that's
also
what I would
have a lot of people you know as a group.
Yeah.
A lot.
I suppose I could
died.
do investigative savvy as well.
Okay. Just tell me the angles that we've worked on. So
let me think.
we have worked on, right? So we've
Takes
done
10 minutes to
everyone's personal knowledge. Where are we? Can't spell that word. There we go. Everyone's personal knowledge. We've then done the Viscarium data. We've done the stewards data.
So I don't think my stuff is going to get in. Didn't get.
Yeah, the stewards is likely to have been more detailed than anything. You also.
I
Unless
think I've
I've
never
done any-
prepared for an RP thing as much.
Yeah, this is it, right? This is the ruling out of the 4 locations. What did we else? We had Undead log, Undead crew log. That was it. Undead crew log has been done. What else have we had that's ruled things out?
Desk, the police, crime, all the personal knowledge stuff, the log.
That was about it, right?
Yeah, or smuggling knowledge in general, like means and weird's past the smugglers.
what?
and stuff.
See,
Yeah.
just for funsies.
Mhm.
Just for funsies. I'll astrological sense.
Okay.
And I'll just think about choosing to go to Thanox.
Right. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
It's a good or bad, Ryan. It's a good or bad.
Let
If
me
it's bad,
see
we're
here.
gone.
Let me see. So
Because-
you can sense the movement of all objects influencing you. You gain insight into the upcoming events. Once per day as a full action, you can try to
it's
determine.
It's on the next half an hour, so when they actually tell me I'm talking shit, I'm not doing that move.
I mean, realistically, we can just get on my ship and fly down.
Yeah.
No,
so
half an hour, though.
we are going to be making the decision
We're
immediately.
we're in orbit. It doesn't take that long for us to fly towards there.
Maybe if I was fully attuned and if somebody wants to shoot me in the leg.
Well,
I'd
okay, how
do
about-
it.
How about we all get in the shuttle, and then you use it while we're midway between Thingy of the Living?
Yeah, sure. Sure, but I won't get much out of this other than, this is a good idea and a bad idea.
You won't get much. Will you get something?
I'll get something.
That's 100% more than what we.
Okay. So.
Okay.
Last call for anybody else doing stuff before you leave your ship. Keep in mind what you have as a group. You have a ship, you have a second ship, you have a shuttle, you have crew, and you've got everything your characters have, and everybody your characters know. That is the sum total.
Preparing and getting appropriate gear on. And bring some supplies, just so that I've explicitly said that I'm doing that.
To be up front, I have a motorcycle,
Okay.
two hover bikes,
Okay.
a car, and my shuttle.
And the submarine.
And the submarine, but that's in the cargo bay. It's a bit dusty. We've never really used it. It's just there. We could probably get the bikes onto the shuttle. The car, probably not. Just to be clear.
Mm-hmm.
Bikes wouldn't be the worst idea. Okay. I wonder.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I could use a contact.
Okay, yeah. Tell us more.
I'm not gonna look through that thing again because scrolling up forever to find law officer. Fucking officer star.
Is this your Star Cop? Did that come from the Armory of the Pact Worlds book, or what? Do we know what that came from?
Did we include a law? Certain, it was one of the books you have, and I don't. I've just found it, and it's like the first search result if you search.
I see. No, I have
Also,
not.
do I have another +1 to sense motive we forgot to code?
Who knows?
I assume.
At this stage, who knows?
Yeah, I forget. I get lots of plus to sense motive that I should have used earlier.
It's fine.
Yeah, investigate with savvy when sorting through such data. So, right, you know how to cut through red tape in your databases to follow up clues, find potential form search related to force of the law, which this sort of is, because we'd be looking for anything.
It just sounds like
basically.
you'd have been able to make Thingy's job easier to what he's already done. So
Well, he's hacked in now, so maybe I can use that. But this is more about doing it through official means, like it takes you 10 minutes in a diplomacy check to gather information, provided you have access to an Infosphere appropriate download data set. Don't know if that, to be honest with you, or the cooperation of a local law enforcement agency. In addition,
you could,
access to such a.
I mean, technically, right, using that logic, the person that's in charge of the Bone Sages right now is an ally of somebody you'd have a bit of sway over.
Let's not try doing that. That seems like a bad idea.
Yep. So
is investigative savvy something I can use here? Possibly not. Then
I was going to say it's unlikely because it would just have been the alternative to hacking the database. Really.
Yeah.
It's not going to get you anything more than what his good roll got you, because he got a pretty damn good roll.
In that case, I think Lyko is sort of maybe going back over his comm, trying to figure out if he's got any useful contacts in this, and sort of decides, we've explored that avenue already.
Yeah, so where do we have doubt on, right? So we've got doubt on where, right? So we don't think it is...
right. It's pretty sure it's no Church of Silence. I mean...
Exactly.
And I know even looked the whole 11.
And it was founded on what was previously a sort of empty area. Now, you could say, oh, well, maybe they allowed them to found it there, knowing that it would distract from the pre-existing structure. But you could equally say, well, maybe they allowed them, they wouldn't, even if it distracted people from it, there's still the possibility of stumbling upon it. It's like sort of 50-50 on whether or not you think that makes it more or less likely. But basically, the stuff we're finding suggests that people think it's not very likely. And I think my character would think that too. It's like, yeah, it's recently founded. It's not really full of Eoxians. Are they going to trust their most valuable secrets to a city of outsiders? Then Church of Silence.
I think let's rewind a bit, right? What do you know of the Eoxians and Lyko's personal experience of them? And then ask yourself that question again.
They're not really big in telling information to outsiders at all, to be honest.
Yep, they're very... they're weirdly xenophobic despite being the first to engage in the Pact Worlds.
Yeah, it does not seem to me likely that it would be there.
Okay.
I can't say with absolute certainty since we couldn't rule out based on other information either, but I would say I'm pretty confident. Church of Silence, again, it sounds so plausible, and then you remember it's literally the first place anyone would look.
Yeah.
And people have for a long time. Halls of the Living? Not sure how much we know about that. It is in an area that probably has been quite well explored, but...
I might get this going to be like a remote area as well, right? I don't see it being like a place that's got a lot of shit around it. I mean, it's like the fucking archive, right? You don't want it to be like in plain view of everything. It's not really hard to hide in, really, is it? So
by that logic, it is either the Church of Silence or Exentius?
Let's see. I mean, it's at least not a place. Church of Silence makes so much sense, in all fairness, man.
It does, but then that's exactly why everyone thinks it's there and no one's found it there.
I mean, they've all been killed, busted, right? Trying to get there. Which means it's got high security, which means that the archivist does his job quite well. Maybe.
I don't know. I am convinced that it's probably Thanos.
Well, let's go with Thanos then.
I think
I
it
don't
says
think
we
it's
can use
exactly-
we can use your weird good or bad ability as we're closer.
Yeah. You can be on the descent in between that and somewhere else. If Thanos and one of the other locations is worth it, but realistically, you're going to still need to be able to narrow it down to 2 out of those 4 to make that ability worthwhile.
Yeah.
So
I think we just really fucking Hall 11 for do right because in the circle we really
let's make a choice then. Is
that's
everybody
how-
behind that, or do people have arguments to say it could be? Because that's a good thing to do. Let's just get hard facts now. So Hall of the Living, is it getting ruled out by everybody, or are we saying there's a chance that should be one of the 2 that's left on the board?
I think there's a chance.
Okay, there's one
I
vote for
don't
chance.
wanna rule it out, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so there's 2 to keep it, right? So let's move on then, right? So if you think most people have got loads of smiley faces at Thanox, and we've got 1 smiley face or 2 smiley faces at the Halls of Living, Church of Silence or Exantius? What's more likely, or what's least likely to be the location, based on what you've learned?
Sad
I'd
taste,
say
really.
Xantius.
Yeah, I think
I think like just a new setup and all that doesn't seem right. Like a new sort of 11 people setup.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was
50,
not
50 years ago, it was the off-world undead that came home and built something there.
Okay.
Yeah. So Exantius is being ruled out, is what I'm hearing. Is MD saying Exantius should be kept on the board? What's that, Zara? I'm almost hearing words.
I'm not.
Okay,
I'm
so
giving it a big X.
okay, yep, fine. So nobody's saving Exantius. That's gone, right? You've ruled that out, and we'll just leave Zora's X there. Oh, look at that.
Well, that's massive.
Oh my.
Did I do that?
No, I added that. It's just to try and make it more dramatically
Yeah.
ruled out. We're bam. There you go, you've ruled out 1 target. Now you just need to get rid of another one.
Okay. So, to we go by the data, just say it's no Church of Silence.
I think it's Thanox or Halls of Living.
I think that's reasonable. Yeah, I'm wanting to rule out Church of Silence. I just feel like it's interesting to me that the Vesk are still looking at Halls of Living as possible because they've explored that area, haven't ruled it out. That to me is interesting. Whereas Church of Silence is like the Vesk haven't ruled it out, but I'm pretty confident it's not there as a character.
So it's
So-
Thingy's buddy as well, his ex-crew member.
And if
Yeah.
2 people,
Yeah.
So yeah, my feeling is very much that like
Go with the
like-
investigated to remind and the data.
I mean, yeah, because
Probably-
I was going to say, because it was the data from the police that made you think it's unlikely. You've also got the fact that Lyko himself already thought it was unlikely because the blue circle covers it. And the, what do you call it? The crew members' logs has ruled it out. So there's probably the most doubt is on that of the 4.
It does leave Thanox, to be honest with you. And if it's not, then we check out Hollow's 11. Don't know.
I think it just, like, keep in mind what it is you're looking for, right? This is, like, the Eternal Convocation's most precious thing, right? That's the thing to keep in mind, right, when making this decision. So it is literally their most precious thing because it's how they can stay eternal. This isn't just like a bank that they've put somewhere. So, yeah, like, it makes sense that you would rule out.
Should be remote.
Yeah, you've also got... I was going to say, yeah, because you've got, like, Thanox is fairly remote. It's obviously got Oubliette near it and technically Karis near it. You've got the Halls of Living that's right next to Karis. So if you think it should be remote, that should rule out the Halls of Living, because the Vesk, your knowledge firsthand, ruled out the Halls of Living. But the, like, Demogesh's private data didn't. He had to put it back on the board. You've then got... obviously, you didn't you had no data on the Church of Silence, except the Vesk were like, well, enough heat is there that it's plausible because it is literally their most sacred fucking site. And then you've got obviously Exantius that didn't exist 50 years ago. So
I mean, that's still the thing that makes me think it could be the Church of Silence, right? Is why is it like sacred? What makes something sacred to the Bone Sages, other than maybe the thing that some gone and taken. But I don't know.
Interesting, right?
Just the obvious thought.
Okay, because keep in mind as well, out of the 4 options, right? Because obviously I can't rule anything out as GM. I have to be neutral. Out of the 4 options you've got, your thing's a yes or no, right? A good bad reply to the place you're going. Which doesn't mean you get an actual good vibe about the other place. So if you don't get a good vibe, you're back to square one. Except you can rule out one of the 4. And I will say this, you will have significantly reduced time if you have to fly up and over to somewhere new. Based on attracting attention on the surface, of course. Timing it to get in on a sneaky stealth corridor is fine, and then flying up to go to somewhere else, not ideal. Obviously we can get some good
stay flying low.
I was going to say, yeah, there is flying low, but this is also the remnant planet of the highest tech people in arguably the known galaxy. However, that's just a thing I'll highlight.
What if we write on the back of the shuttle, "Don't dead, open inside"?
Yeah.
Or just don't. Is arguably equally good. But yeah, so that is the thing I'll say about Zora's obviously space psychic powers, is that if it doesn't say good, it's not going to be good, because it doesn't rule out any of the other 3. Even if yous have.
Yeah, like we have to just go with the 2 that we
yeah, exactly. So, based on that then, where do you decide to go? Who points to it dramatically on the map and goes, here is where we're going?
Points dramatically towards... By dramatically means really slovenly and probably eye-rolling and sighing Fanox.
Captain Admiral.
Alice claps.
His eyes roll again.
I clap with Alice.
His eyes fucking scream
Yep.
passionately.
Yep.
No 2 of them.
Yeah. So
Please not 2 of them.
One thing I should suggest we do as an actual part of the plan is we take your spacesuits and we take my spacesuits and we put all of them in the shuttle.
Spare spacesuits, is that what you're saying?
More space.
I don't want to get out of my suit to get into another suit.
Yeah, plus most of our...
I mean, keep them on the shuttle just in case. Would you rather we have extra spacesuits, or would you rather we go, well, this suit's fucked?
Sure, we didn't bring those extra spacesuits.
I mean...
I think the problem is that the crew are all different shapes and sizes.
Yeah.
I mean, that's something
Zig
I was
could
hoping
probably
they can
fit. Zig could probably fit
like-
into any of them, which is fine.
Yeah,
Yes, I'm sorry.
Don't point that out to them, Ryan, because if they agree, then there's more spacesuits than fit me.
Your shuttle just take them anyway.
There's probably a good amount of spacesuits in like this ship, right? It's just that they're probably Vesk. Like, they're probably just got to be walking about in a big floppy suit for a while. Right.
You have to like fill it with helium.
Because I assume that like some of them would have seen my ship arrive. Or did I just dock?
You assume a lot. There was like arguably Alice saw everything happen.
Okay.
It's probably like one human-sized fucking like snapfire at the top of the Vesk here.
Yeah, there'd be nothing.
Human.
You know, if there is spacesuits on board the final hour, they are all Vesk. If there are, yes, exactly. It's like 100% that. But the
Plus, they're not going to be as good protection-wise as just our armor will right? Because our armor will be higher level and just
Yeah.
last longer.
Agreed. These will be
I
generic.
think my armor's spacey.
All suits of armor can seal, by the way.
Okay.
Yep, all suits of
Oh,
armor.
I'm Star-Lord then. It's
Yep.
the only way this makes sense.
Pretty much.
Important
Yeah.
to note that Starfinder is bullshit.
Yeah, literally. What is the level of your armor, Stephen?
Is level 12?
So on a good
I
day,
think. I'll need to double check.
if that is the answer, on a good day that means you have 12 days of air.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's how that works.
that's how
Wow,
good the
I
tech
wish-
is.
I wish I should have known more of that when I picked my armor. My armor.
So the last shot, I guess, is you deciding where to send the shuttle, and then we've got the
Yeah,
montages,
okay.
everyone. The montages, everybody getting ready, and then the final shot is a Lyko walking towards the shuttle down the airlock, and the sounds of Akaton blowing across you,
Oh.
and you just seem to remember the conversation that you have chosen poorly, and then the session ends. Thank you.
Okay.
And then we go to our credits page, because that's the end of the session. So, what would you like to name the session?
You've chosen poorly.
What was that, sorry?
So you've chosen poorly.
That's probably exactly what I was thinking. Or, because I'm such a narcissist, raise the dead.
I mean, yeah.
Spelt my name.
Feel free to type it in.
Oh, I don't know the rules. What's going on? I don't know.
Yep, SF general text.
Oh, okay. I'm like, type it where?
Welcome to Starfinder, the Fragments of Eternity, with all the unspoken rules. Yep.
So just in case Callum doesn't know, I think he's muted.
Yeah.
Bonjour.
Bonjour.
literally, you have a name right there.
Oh dear.
Also, you would have noticed, Lyko, as you went to get into the shuttle, I'm flying an ambulance.
Okay.
Mm.
My starship is a space
Oh.
ambulance.
I can actually share it. Show it to everyone. Let's go. We're bam. To space
They're
ambulance.
called the Charon, and if you zoom in really much, you'll see it says the name on the side and everything. I put lots of effort into it. So much effort, I recolored a white ambulance black and changed the color of the screens, and then realized there was a picture exactly like that already by default. I just hadn't seen it.
Okay, so vote on these by reacting to them, and then we'll have our title.
Because
I love PayRaze, actually. I got 100%.
I mean, that got 3 votes straight away, so yeah. I feel like that has won.
PayRaze is the fucking jet.
There we go. I'll pop that into the Starfinder tracker.
Raise Kishi. I also didn't really realise that the accent I was going for is pretty much exactly the accent Lyko uses, so there's that also.
Well, the accent Lyko uses is whatever noise comes out my mouth when it's so it is not really a coherent.
I also hope
accent.
no one
Just like-
reads into the fact that this is chapter 13 of the game, that this session is the first one of, or that I've already named it without waiting till the end, which I've already called it Life After Death. So, yes, I'm not saying that it's been planned or anything. Okay, so we have this sorted.
After death.
Oh, for fuck's sake! Sorry.
Now, feel free to talk me through any goals that were completed.
I arrived.
It was not a goal, no, and arguably it's very questionable phrasing.
I had them back for the Yorks.
Yeah. Would have
We
done
have
that?
discovered that we've got access to the vault. We just need to wait for Finida to be willing to get us an after, right?
I mean, arguably,
That's just me.
arguably, that's complete,
Oh,
except when it becomes incomplete if anything happens to the line before you go in, right?
yeah.
But you've agreed to get access for Zig, yeah?
I mean,
You just have
that's
a
me
promise.
just clutching at straws. That's just me clutching at straws, trying to get that
No.
completed. But like,
I think that goal's complete. Right there.
I mean, it doesn't say, and then step in, which is lucky. So yeah, I'll give you
that
that.
was the semantics that I was arguing.
Yeah.
Well, that was exactly where I was getting it. Like, it's
You've
technically
asked
just
for
me
access.
getting
Can't believe I tried to high five Zig.
Oh man, I could. I was so tempted. But
Right.
it would have just been a bad day. So
So, is that any more to go on the gold tracker?
ah,
I just want to complete my business.
You need to go get all those investors that I wanted you to get.
Yeah, but surely we have the documents of incorporation by now.
She mostly, I think, is telling you that she doesn't have 1 million space credits. I think.
Oh.
Without saying it,
I have 100,000 credits.
I mean, there you go. I love the idea that Lyco pays you for this job and then weird leans over and goes, "Would you like to invest in my business?"
Would you like to invest in my
thanks.
legs?
Because I mean,
Like, and I'm like, well, I'm a well-paid captain.
yeah, and he is trying to make an established income, so yeah. But considering it's been like 5 days into that, no, nothing's happened with the money front because Tanida was kidnapped. So she didn't do anything except apparently learn how to dismantle and put together Vesk rifles. So she chose to do with her time. Her goals are on a different sheet, by the way. So,
So I like Alice. She's my favourite. She likes yogurt.
I told you you'd like Alice. Like her way of agreeing with people is finger gunning from the hip. But
Stand
yeah.
and clap and finger gun with Alice. I think that.
Yep, that's the game. By the way, that's the game I play anyway. Right. So goals. What else is happening, guys? Right. I see Zora's typed something in.
I've just changed my goal to discover what happened to GC.
Okay.
It's a bit intermediate and stuff.
Yeah, and it's been, as I said, like technically 4 days now that he's been missing. So yeah, this is the 4th day technically. Right. I think that's used goals. How many goals are in that completed lot now?
14.
Okay, so you have leveled up. These are level 14.
Enjoy it.
Enjoy it. Pop in the gold bar.
Let's see what it's like. Give me that. Doink. Oh, that.
Nope, that's the wrong one. Nope.
There we go.
That was like.
There we go. And then.
There you go. Perfect. Right, now we've got. I don't know what that means, Zig. I'm sorry.
I know.
It just sounds like you have to first of all get an undead army to then destroy. So, because it says raise my undead army.
I am no one's undead army. Thank you very much.
Luckily, there's no comma, so you're safe. It isn't raise my undead army.
Oh, that's what I meant. Hold on, there we go. Sorry.
Okay. Well, no, it's a bad goal.
I'm undead.
We've got a general goal, guys. What's our general goal?
Is that what comes before Admiral goal?
Yes.
Captain Go.
What's the thoughts?
Sure.
Find the archivist?
Is it go speak to like this ghost?
Welcome to Ghost Watch.
Well, considering I've been told no, I think not.
I mean,
It would.
No, you just said you were just told that it was a poor choice. This doesn't mean
It
no.
So after all that deciding, the wind could tell you where we were going anyway.
Apparently.
I mean, find the archive as I said. Maybe an autocomplete though. It's a bit too much an autocomplete, right? Maybe.
Gain access to the archive is a reasonable goal, though, because actually getting into it is something, you know.
Yeah, it is a general. I assume the general goal is the goal that we're generally trying to complete.
You'd be surprised sometimes, Stephen. You'd be surprised. Yes. Generally, yes. Okay, yeah, is that us? And Zig, you got any updates happening?
I'm trying to think.
And you got a goal for Zig?
Let me just see.
Go to the vault. We
Time travel.
Parida for now, I guess. Maybe.
Deliberately time travel, yes.
It's a bit cheesy, but enter the vault.
We travel in space and time.
And also, like, how long are we actually going to be spending on Eox? This is the thing, like...
I mean...
As little as possible.
Yeah, as little
which
as possible.
could mean, you know, another 83 sessions.
It's true, mate. It's actually true. Like...
Can we just fling Zig out the back of the shuttle, have him travel back in time to Eox not being on fire, have him find it by spending years there or something, and then traveling forward in time to where it is and just going, hey, it's here.
Sure. I mean, arguably, all he has to do is mind link with somebody for that to potentially happen, so...
On you go, Raze.
5.
Welcome to the crew.
And I'll see you in 100 million years. Oh dear. And this is when you find out that Zig does this. He goes back in time. He gets encased in some kind of hibernation purple crystal. He is known as the Elibrian by this point. He's found him on the first station. That's why he wasn't there on the station, obviously, time-wise. He knew not to be there. Yep, it all makes sense somehow, when it actually doesn't. But anyway.
Turns out eventually the compass just starts pointing to Zig all the time because he was the stone all along.
What would you like to do on Eox? Other than leave?
Acquire many expensive items.
Right, so Zig-related goals.
Zig really doesn't want to be there.
Right, so...
Leave Eox.
How about you just... Why don't you have it where you can, you know, contribute in a way that expedites the mission, right? So some kind of significant contribution where you are...
Actively... hold on, active... I don't know how to spell actively, whatever. That's not it.
Because if you can contribute as either mechanically or roleplay wise, actively reducing the mission time, with or without time travel, then yeah, that's a challenge in itself, right?
That is a challenge. Active let make our time on Eox less.
Oh god, that hard to read. Yes. And obviously, let's see if I can fix.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was just going to put an exclamation mark at the end of it.
Actively. That's actually how you take to read.
Yeah. So that's been fixed. Yeah, there we go. That's our goals. And we'll do wrap up chat now. So do you want to start us off? Weird.
I really like the bit where Raze appeared.
Okay.
Managed to drive our plot forward.
Good.
Oh, investigation shenanigans is always fun.
Yep.
I like anything with Alice.
Alice is great.
There's been many sessions of Alice. Many sessions of Alice.
Helping to cause exasperation to Nico is always going to be fun.
Having an envoy on board.
Yeah. Anything else, bud?
I can't think of anything else.
Okay. Zig?
I obviously loved the surprise of our special guest.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed just having, like, it felt like we have prepared something whether or not it's anything useful. But we've done prep, and it felt nice to actually just sit down and learn about Eox a little bit before just jumping down and enduring the horrific, horrible darkness of death and death.
Fair.
So yeah, I feel a lot better going into the next session with the prep that we have.
And managing to tick over into level 14.
That makes me happy, yes.
Do I level up or anything?
Yeah, you can level up too, buddy.
Yay! I'm level 13!
You can be 14. We're jumping with all
I
this.
also enjoyed not
Level
having
14.
to pay.
Was that, sorry? Oh, not having to
I
pay.
enjoyed
Yeah.
not having to pay. Yep.
Mhm.
I like having full bank account.
Mm.
Nice.
Like having money,
Hashtag
lads.
Sugar Queen.
Yeah, right.
And yes, it was nice to have some like chat with the Nida.
Yeah. Always interesting scenes to have, yeah. She's so different with different members of the crew. She has like a really different relationship with everybody in the crew, actually. Like Alice is arguably Alice with everybody, but she's very, like, Thanida's very different with everybody in the crew.
Mm-hmm.
Which I quite like to explore, and then sometimes forget who I'm talking to and who I'm talking as. That's always fun. Yeah, all good. Anything else, bud?
But no, thank you. No.
Oh, you're welcome. Lyko.
Hello.
Hello.
I was also surprised, thrilled to be joined by Stephen. It has been a while since we have roleplayed together, and I'm glad to have you.
Reset the clock for you, don't worry.
It will be intriguing to see how it unfolds. Yeah, I like finally sort of progressing, getting into the start of a new arc, really, and it was a bit of a talky session. Enjoyed it. We all sort of got to. I wish if Ramasethu was going to tell me the fucking answer, she'd tell me the fucking answer. That would have been better. But that is apparently not my lot in life.
Was that the Bone Sages being directly useful to you? No.
So yeah,
Sage is not Bone Google.
I am. I'm curious if that means it was the other thing you thought about, or you're completely wrong. It's in a hole in one of the areas that you ruled out. I don't know. I don't know exactly what it means. Perhaps we shall find out. Yeah, it was as I say, it was good having a bit of a talking session, getting a new character introduced, and then getting an opportunity for them to not all, but most of the most of the crew, getting the crew to sort of be able to show off their skills a bit.
You actually know a
maybe
lot
not-
as a group, right? Like, see when you came to like narrowing down stuff in the Ox, you all actually were like quite.
Yeah, between it.
Mhm.
Because obviously we had a smuggler, specifically one who had been taking people to Veox, so that was it was very useful. But then we also had my connection, and we had Weird's connection, smuggling in Veox. We had the captain bot there. Really, just Sig is like, okay, what is an Eox? It was nice. It gave almost all of us something to sort of like our characters to be able to talk about and know about and interact about. I am sure that Zig and his mystical ability will get plenty of opportunity to stretch their legs in upcoming sessions. And yeah, I think the length and breadth of my thoughts tonight.
Yeah, and arguably Zig is one of your biggest weapons, even if he's one of the smallest. So yeah.
Yeah, he's not very.
But no, it's good. It was nice to see everybody kind of chipping in, and like even you loaning your Space Cop credentials out and stuff like that. It's all good. Good to see everybody pulling resources. I like it. Yeah. Zora.
I've got one word. Well, not one word. I've just got one button click. That's just my answer to how I feel this session.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I got my sunbolt.
Okay.
It's good.
Okay.
It's good.
Is he telling me to bolt? I'm not.
Awesome. Bolt.
All right, son, bolt.
It was good fun.
Yeah, bolt, son.
It was a surprise.
Sun bolt, fun bolt, good fun. Oh, it's like
Fun
space
bolt.
cockney.
Fun bolt, mate.
Would you say it's a surprise to be sure, but a welcome one?
In the
Was
bin.
actually a surprise to be sure. A welcome one. Hombre Stephen appeared. Mr. Ray's Kimchi. I don't know.
Kishi.
Kishu, Ray Kishu. Like Keith, but with an E.
Mr. Ray's hell.
Kimchi.
Oh, it's time to raise hell. Oh, I'm going to take that one. Let's raise the roof. Oh, there's so many.
Oh, it's disgusting. I hate it. I hate everybody.
I'm Zora Diora the Explorer, Camden.
It's actually Zora Diora the Abyss, I'll have you know, but okay.
Explorer. Thank you.
It's not.
It's not.
Zora the Abyss. Zora the Explorer. The
Anything
bowl.
else, Zora? In the nature of wrap-up chatness? No? Maybe yes?
Oh, nice.
No, it's good to be on it, York. That is a good thing.
Look at you using your Vesk resources as well.
Aye.
Actually leading into it.
Thanks.
It's good. Embracing your true position in the Viscarium.
I'll probably soon get court-martialed. It's fine.
And it'll be, yeah, I mean it'll be fine. It's not like you're going to trespass on military allies, sovereign territory. But anyway, that's fine. Don't worry about it.
I signed no contract.
Sure.
Are you sure?
I don't think that's true, but okay. Yeah, I think your conversation with Demogesh was the contract. But yeah, regardless of that. And then last but not least, assuming I've not really badly mistimed that and forgot about somebody, Mr. Ray's Kishi.
I enjoyed actually being able to interact with the crew a lot. Like, apparently making the worst possible decisions I could possibly make every time I met one of them.
It's the worst.
That's Alice. I'm going to talk to her loads. I'm gonna high five the wee rat dude. He seems calm.
It was more just the implications of anyone Ziggs ever shook the hands of is, yeah.
The more amusing thing is I know some of this already, but forgot as soon as I joined the game.
Which is good.
And started to play. I think I really enjoyed being able to work with everyone and like sort of have a reason to feel like I'm part of the crew already, and not just the random guy at the side.
Like you actually have a purpose. You're there, and it's not just one of these. Well, we needed somebody to get us in.
Yeah. Like, and having a knowledge of Lyco from beforehand means that I can, be a character who kind of trusts the people around him just as a matter of fact. If he's working with them, they must be fine. So it lets me not have to worry too much about who are you? I don't know.
Yeah, and he was an ex-official cop, right? So like that does help. It does lend legitimacy.
We also quickly gathered that Lyco hasn't changed dramatically. I mean, he's probably a little bit weirder, but. Yeah, like it'd probably be quite reassuring as someone who dealt with him before. It's like, oh, he's still Lyco.
Like, it's very much I get to play it as, oh look, it's a super space famous person, and that cop that I knew, space adventure awaits. But they also paid me lots. So that's all good.
Like literally up front, going, please don't leave. Here's money. This is the job. Please do it. Yep.
Which was hilarious because you paid me double what I was going to ask for. Because I was desperate, but didn't want to say I was desperate until I knew how desperate you were.
I like that Lyko led with that, to be honest. That was good. He was just goes, okay, so 100 up front, and then everything else after we'll deal with.
That was a shame because I was muted because you went 100 up front, and then any extra stuff I just went yes please. I just walked on the ship at that point because I was like money please.
It was good. It was definitely good. Anything else,
The thing
buddy?
I'm most excited about is I can now ask people about my character sheet and for help.
Mhm.
Because I had so many questions and Ryan's like, I don't make the character.
I was going to say, I am the worst person to ask out of the entire group.
Don't worry, no one understands the characters.
The thing is, I do understand my character, and he's brilliant. I love him so much. I mean, that probably doesn't come as a surprise.
Yeah. I was shook by this revelation, Stephen.
I can confirm that Stephen has not been replaced by a clone.
Yeah.
He is acting exactly like a clone would. That's how you know it's Stephen.
Yeah, but checks out.
Yeah, like I now have another expertise, and now I can ask, what should I maybe take? Yeah, like I don't need to just go
Archives, an expertise in archives.
Hey, what I'm thinking might be useful is I can take an expertise in bluff.
Okay.
Which might be very useful if we get caught. I'm totally dead. Yeah. Look.
It's like one of those Halloween costume kits of like the zombie prosthetics. Just slowly passing it on.
Like my other next few choices for expertise are all things I think all the rest of you are good at.
Oops, didn't mean
So
that.
Yeah, well.
like I might just
It's a
choose
good
bluff.
roll, though.
See, trying to make a character sheet without clicking on
Yeah.
flipping but rolls as well, like so that I could make my character sheet without everyone realizing I was making a character sheet.
It wasn't easy. Not for how long we've been working on this guest starring. Yeah.
Especially because obviously I was getting confused. I had to ask, can I get access to one of your sheets to use as a reference? And I totally rolled Dora's skills by accident. And I was like, delete them from the log. He's like, I can't. I was like, well, we fucked it.
Yep. Yeah. Weirdly, Alice rolled a lot of things recently for no reason other than to fill the log a bit. But regardless of that, it's fine. It all worked out. I'm pleased people enjoyed the surprise. That would have been awfully awkward had you not. And I'm amazed that you are actually thematically almost all on board the shuttle to go down to the surface. Almost. That in itself, for the slightly shorter session that we had tonight, was a miracle. So, yeah, I think what we'll hopefully aim for is as much playtime as possible next week. Obviously, that's completely wishful thinking, or whenever we actually next play as a full team. And we'll pick up from there. I thank you all again for playing. I thank you, Stephen, for joining us, and goodbye to everybody on Twitch. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Bye, everyone.